I just have my companion right here, ready to contribute. and, on that note, welcome to First Frenzy Freestyle Sunday. I've been in for a while.
Hmm.
First, there was the Super Bowl, and then before that, I was extremely ill.
Mm.
But I'm here now, and I'm strong again.
Yes, welcome back and
Mhm.
welcome back, TF Johnny.
Hey,
Mhm.
thank you. Glad to be here. It's an honor.
And Shiba Kobe says first, congratulations, you win a no prize. And Caden says second.
Yep.
Shiba Kobe says we. It's gonna be one of those shows.
Yeah.
Oh
Man,
boy.
good to be back on here with you guys, man. I always have a good time with you guys.
hmm
You know.
Cool.
Mhm.
And we'll see who pops in and out. My fiance is in the other room playing Pikmin, so if you hear strange noises, it's probably that.
Okay.
What is that? Curious. What is Pikmin?
Oh, this is a Nintendo game. She's playing Pikmin 2 for the GameCube, so
Mm. Never heard of it.
yeah, it's a thing. Caden says, sorry I wasn't here last time, I was asleep. I mean, that's a good reason.
That's a good reason. It happens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just finished
Um,
Breath of the Wild. I mean, not off top. I don't know. I'm an RPG guy when it comes to gaming. I like
yeah.
RPGs and first person shooters. Just finished that game.
Yeah, I'm almost. I'm literally because I played Breath of the Wild previously. I'm replaying it now because of the sequel, and I've gotten to the point now where mostly everything's done. I just have to do the final boss, and I'm just gonna wait until the sequel comes out, and then I'm just gonna play the final boss of this, and then just go straight into the sequel.
But you
So
played
I'm
the
just.
final boss before, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like I played it back in the day when it came out.
that was fun, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
So,
Yeah.
I'm more for car racing video games.
Really?
That's my thing. Yeah.
Back in the day, kind of. I mean, back in the day, like Rad Racer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think I did a little bit of the Gran Turismo. I just
Oh,
wasn't really into it as much,
Yeah.
I was like,
I was a Mario Kart guy at best, so that's about
yeah,
my
Mario
only
Kart.
car game experience.
Yeah.
no,
That's,
Mario Kart when that came out, I remember at one point like there were tournaments. Like everyone
Yeah.
would just get together at someone's house and
Yep.
we just be
At
playing
bars,
for
too.
hours. Oh,
around here, they had them at bars, too.
that's cool. I never knew
Yes.
that.
Yep.
It's a little complicated to have a tournament where like luck of the draw in terms of who gets what items is like a big deciding factor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of roulette.
I don't know what it is about Nintendo games. Like, so we have a con here that comes to DC every year called Awesome Con at the convention center, and they normally I have like a Smash Brothers.
Mm.
They have a tournament there, and it's like this huge tournament, and it's like I forget how much money it is, but it's like a decent amount of money for the grand prize,
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I had to accept the fact that despite liking Smash Brothers, I am just garbage at it, just trash. I just cannot.
Yeah, me too. I think I attempted to play that like maybe once or twice and just
yeah. I don't think I've ever won a match against anybody who was serious about it in my life.
Right.
I'm just like, no. Yeah.
Now, if you go back to my wheelhouse in my prime, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking back in the day, like early 2000s, late 90s, like
Okay.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Tekkens.
Yep.
The obviously like the Mortal Kombat, the Street Fighters, and that was my alley. See, I'm from the age of arcades. I remember going to arcades and putting quarters up, and then you would stay on there, as long as you won,
Or as long as you long as you have quarters.
As long as you have, I mean, like at one shot, like if you get on there,
right,
just keep playing people. If you win, and you'll stay on, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And it was like a thing. Like if you were able to like to stay on there for 3 or 4 matches, like you got a little respect in the hood,
Yeah.
Friend of mine was so good at Marvel versus Capcom 2 that when we were playing casually, out of frustration, somebody covered his eyes and he still won the match.
Wow.
I would be pissed at that. Now that
yeah,
that's going too far.
Yeah.
That's a GOAT game, though, man. For me, that's a top 5 game for me.
Oh yeah, but you know that there was always that one kid that just undefeated. Like no matter what moves you tried, you can't beat this guy.
Nah, and he can like play with all the characters. Like it didn't really matter. Like you'll get like I don't know who was good back then, like Wolverine or like Spider-Man. I think were the top 2.
Cyclops.
He'll play with like Spyro or something like this, destroy you. You know,
Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro, the woman with the 8 arms. And
oh. I thought you meant like the dragon from the PlayStation 1 games. I was like, I don't think he was in that.
Oh no, not Spyro. I'm sorry, Spyro, like you throw a football. Spyro. Yeah. So even though she wasn't a bad character, I didn't think, but if you have like Spider-Man or something or like Iron Man, you should be able to beat her. But
yes, Iron Man was a good character to run with.
Oh yeah, photon cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People are saying that they really want to see. They're making the second Into the Spider-Verse, and they're going nuts on the cameos. People really want to see Marvel versus Capcom Spider-Man in there because they want to see him do the moves and like animation.
Yeah, I love his moves on that.
Yeah,
I mean, he was probably easily my favorite character. Spider Sting, that little move, and the his what was it? Like his specialty move. He jumped up in the corner and it's like you couldn't stop it because it was so quick.
Yep.
So yeah, that game was awesome. Like I'm not into like gaming cabinets, but if I did get one, that would probably be it. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Let's catch up on some of the comments. Shiva Kobe, everyone on YouTube. So Shiva Kobe, there's a man, plan your face planting better, Caden.
You'll watch the new Ant-Man movie, says Caden. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna.
The reviews are mixed on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of like I said this on a previous show. I'm a little bit checked out because I don't really have time to watch the TV shows. And like Ant-Man, they're like, oh, this is bringing in stuff from Loki, and I'm like, I haven't watched Loki. I don't have any investment in this situation, so I don't know if I'm really super interested.
The Loki series.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was okay. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just like, I'm not going to see every Marvel movie. I'm just picking the ones that interest me.
Exactly.
Like,
but you know what, though? If they almost make you, you're almost kind of invested in all the movies that come out because, they kind of link together or you have a cat behind you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, wait, is that Bleed Over? Okay. That's a different cat. Okay. Yeah, they put little Easter eggs and little stuff in it, man. So you almost feel like you had to, but I'm like you. I'm not gonna watch everyone. Not that interested in everything.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll watch more Spider-Mans. Stephen Bog said, just got back home and my cat is up my butt. well,
I know nothing about cats, man. I've never owned one, never lived with one.
They're chill animals, but they get jealous easily.
Yes.
Yeah, she wants your attention, it looks like.
Just making hard eye contact with the audience.
And these ones are young ones, so they're just into anything and everything.
Yeah.
I have a Chihuahua.
Okay.
He's what you think a Chihuahua. Your preconceived, if you don't know anything about him, is what he is.
So he really likes Taco Bell?
Your cattle? Yeah, basically. He's mixed with miniature pincher, so I don't know if that makes a difference. He looks more Chihuahua, though. He barely qualifies as a dog, for the record.
Wow.
Barely.
Don't let him hear you say that.
I tell him all the time.
Basically, Pepperoni could fight him.
Yeah, your cat is big. How much does your cat weigh?
I don't know. She's pretty small, actually.
Like, what, 2 or 3 pounds?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's 4 pounds. So.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
So, and that might be actually on the high side.
Yeah.
I hate that it went all the way in the wrong direction. If that's the way it was going. We get on here and get the freestyle. Look, I don't know.
Yep.
Courage.
Talking about our animals.
Instagram Live. We were talking about music, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good conversation. I wanted to keep that going, but we kind of just fell off.
Yeah, we fell off on that one.
Yeah, that was a good conversation, though.
Oh yeah. So Stephen Brock on YouTube says, of all y'all fighting games, I suggest Top Hat Gaming, a man channel.
Top Hat Gaming Man.
I'll check it out. Top Hat.
I'm into racing games and fighting and shooter games, says Caden. So most of them.
Yes.
I see and I hear a kitty. Yeah, a couple of them.
The only cat I have in here is Ravage.
Yeah.
He's on the shelf.
Instead of a monkey on his back, he has a kitty on his back. Yeah, that's the situation.
That is a situation.
Oh, I see that Jazz behind you too, Span. Okay.
Oh yeah.
See you. All right. I got to figure out how to put me a background right there. Blaster. I'm gonna get the blaster.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, I probably have that technology, but I'd rather be able to grab figures from behind me as necessary.
Exactly. I'm surrounded. I love this run, man.
Yeah.
So
one day I will get a chance to build my room.
But you're not like a hardcore collector, though, right?
Not, I mean, in a sense, old school, because it's like, when you collect something, but it wasn't for the purpose of collecting, because you just loved the toys.
Yeah, that's pretty much me too. I don't really have, like, I don't buy things with the intent on flipping or like a lot of guys keep their stuff in boxes, and I mean, again, I get it from a monetary standpoint, for monetary value, I get it, but I'm not getting it for those, even though I do. Once something else new comes out, I don't need every version of a masterpiece figure. So when something comes out, and if it's better, I'll just sell the old one. So that's the only purpose of like reselling for me.
Yeah, for me it's a bonus basically.
Yeah. Oh, so you keep them. You don't get rid of the old ones.
Yeah. I mean I do.
What's up, boy?
Hey.
Yeah. It's my dog.
No, I sell the older ones, but like I count selling them for money as like a bonus basically. And Steve Buck says Parrot Kitty. Yeah, that's what she does.
Parrot Kitty, that's hilarious.
Well, we have as we welcome you to the show, I've actually now have 10 questions for you as something we were speaking about has just turned into question number 10.
Nice.
So for our first somewhat of a question is welcome TF Johnny to the Frenzy Freestyle Sunday. And before we get into our questions, where can people find you?
I am primarily on Instagram at TF Johnny. Also have a YouTube channel, which I'm not that active on, but I definitely want to be more active and doing reviews and just talking about all things Transformers, toy releases and just, movies and just anything, just a chill spot to talk like we do here is the goal.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Which I mean, many of the other members that have just kind of rolled in is kind of the same thing. Like just slowly became a part of the crew, and like they also do the mini reviews or just like hanging out.
Yeah, it's fun, man. This it's something I take serious in a sense, but by pure nature of what this is and what we do in terms of what we're talking about, what we're collecting, it's fun, man. Like that's why I understand certain folks in the community take it so serious and they become like this celebrity and the hair gets big, this megalomaniac. I don't understand this. Come on, I mean,
always remember this is a profoundly silly thing,
Yeah, like let's keep things in perspective and have fun with it,
Oh, for sure. And I mean, when you start seeing the debates start getting ugly, and I'm like, I think people forget that we're just talking about toys.
Yeah,
like,
and everything is subjective. Like, you have a preference. You like, you say tomatoes, I say tomatoes. It's still what it is. I mean, it's okay to have a difference of opinion. You don't have to agree. People have to agree with everything, and it's okay to have it. It's not a personal attack on you if I like, Optimus Prime more than Megatron or whoever,
Exactly.
Yeah. I try and wear my biases on my sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, we all come in with our biases, so I'm definitely standing towards certain things, but I love hearing everybody's opinion and their passions and stuff. Like, again, I think I mentioned it before. I don't care what you're passionate about. I'll sit there and listen to you because I love people that's passionate about anything. And you might learn something and might share the passion to a degree.
Oh, exactly.
Shiba Kobe says, Polly want a catnip? No, she just wants to hang out.
Catnip and flip her out, probably.
Yeah, not to be confused with Rumble Freestyle. There should be like a version where that's the Shattered Glass version of our show.
That is, like, funny. Didn't think of that. Like, someone's gonna call it out and be like, "What about Rumble?"
There's no alliteration. That's why.
Right.
So actually,
like the redheaded stepchild.
So on YouTube, we actually have a question for you from Caden asking TF Johnny, what is your favorite figure that you have?
Hey, Caden. I always see him in it. He represents hard in the show. Favorite figure currently. I would say probably the HasLab. Either the HasLab Unicron or the Robeson self-converting Optimus Prime. Probably one of those two. Yeah, I would say one of those two. I mean, I like all the HasLab releases, honestly. I have Galactus and the Sentinel, too.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Those are probably my top 5. Or the Voltron, the Blitzway Voltron. That's a really dope figure. It's that's a very high-quality figure it is.
Is that one of the lines or the vehicles?
No, the Lions. I can show. I got my little setup here. I want to mess it up.
Okay.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got.
I got the upgrade kit for him too. The Legacy Minosaur.
Actually, that's good because it shows the scale of the Voltron.
Oh,
having a Transformer thing next to it.
Yep, and those are the HasLabs over there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that Sentinel looks nice.
Oh, yeah. I put the Master head on them, and that's the Toy Biz one there.
Okay.
Nice.
And that came with Galactus. So, quick, I know. I don't know if you could see it or not. I couldn't see what I was showing.
Yeah, we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the big floating Unicron orb just next to you.
Yeah, I mean, this room is smaller. We're moving actually next year. We're moving to Delaware from DC. And the basement I'll have over there will be much bigger. And I'm going to go absolutely nuts in it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like one of my favorite, moving into a new place, like when I came here, like one of my favorite things was now I get to decide how this is all going to get set up.
Trust me now, and my wife, she laughs at it. She had a problem at first with it, but she knows who I am and what I'm into. And I recharge my batteries from just simply being in here, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So when we're looking for a place, that factors in. I need room and space for my collection. That's just what it is.
Yep.
Because I'm always going to have it.
I work in here during my day job, so I could be on a call doing things, and I'll just be, transforming a figure. That helps,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one perk I had at job when I had my office before I lost it. I would be in the office, with new figures, these new masterpieces, and I don't know. You went to the third parties at all, Courage? I call you Courage. What should I call you? Anthony?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, like I don't know if you're in the third party masterpiece figures.
I have a few over there. I'm very selective with them.
Right. Some of them it's a process, like to transform them. Mm-hmm. Like there's one up here. I have the I know Professor. I know he's not on here, but I know he's more of a 3P guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a G Creations masterpiece, IDW Prime, and it looks great. It's probably my best. One of my, probably my second best actually, IDW Prime that I own. But when I tell you the transformation is like, I like wanted to put a bullet in my brain like 5 minutes into it. It's that bad.
Yeah.
And it's legendary for how tough of a transformation it is.
Yeah, that's why I'm selective.
Yeah, so I just won't, transformation, and honestly, I don't really do a lot of transformations. I will once I start doing more reviews, and I'll do them more. But I like bot mode. I like everything in bot mode.
Yeah.
So if it comes that way, I don't feel a need to transform them. I'll just keep it there, Yeah.
Whereas with me, being able to transform a figure within a reasonable time span and without ton of difficulty is like a big important thing for me.
Which is crazy because I'm telling you, some of these 3Ps, it's like I'm trying to think of an example. The Perceptor, not the Perceptor 2.0. It's one of It's one of the fans' toys ones. It took me
Yeah,
like over
they're
an hour.
every fan's toys that I've had because of or bore out has always been like that.
Yeah, but it's enjoyable in this sense, right? To watch because people who've been collecting a while, like so for an example, like you'll take an MP11 Seeker, that mold, which were like the first masterpiece Seekers, and it was kind of like when Super Nintendo came out back in the day. It's like, wow, it can't get any better than this, like the graphics and all that.
Okay.
And of course, it's way outdated at this point, right? And I felt like that with the Seekers, but if you compare the MP11s to the MP52s, it's kind of like night and day. I mean, they've come so long in engineering so far. So, I mean, the lengths they'll go to hide certain things in panels, and, they may be like 4 double jointed panels you have to flip around to hide a hand or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I like it. It's like the engineering side of it, That's partly why I got into Transformers. I like that whole part of it,
Yeah.
Well, cool. Because I'm going to say the next question is what made you get into Transformers?
Well, so, what made me just something click, man? I don't know if it was the first episode. I don't know if it was the toys, the storyline, the whole Civil War aspect of it. Maybe the robots and being able to being sentient beings, if I'm pronouncing it right, and being able to think and feel and kind of act independently. I always liked the toys because they were like puzzles. I don't think I ever read any instructions on how to transform anything. I don't think none of us did back in the day when we were young, right? You just kind of went at it. And, I liked that the toys were die-cast back then, and they looked very accurate in alt mode. I mean, It just blew my mind, And I really enjoyed the storyline. So I didn't start off a Transformers fan. I think first I was like Masters of the Universe. I think that was number one. Either that or G.I. Joe. Probably Masters of the Universe. Because my first toy, I remember, was a Man-at-Arms.
Oh, nice.
He-Man. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I was pissed with my father because I wanted a He-Man. He came back with Man-at-Arms. I'm like, bro, this is like, he's like third on the ring. If I would have, he would have been third maybe. He-Man, Skeletor, then maybe Man-at-Arms, and then I got to really sit down and think about the characters. It might not even be third.
Right.
But yeah, that and G.I. Joe and and GoBots. GoBots, I think I was a fan of too before Transformers. But when it came out, it was like, I don't know, the noise that they make when they transform. Optimus being the kind of the leader he was out of all the 80s cartoons. I think he was probably the most I don't know what the word for it would be. Kind of chivalrous, like really, really a good guy kind of through and through. And Megatron kind of embodied that, the bad guy with the laugh, the red eyes, the big fusion cannon on his arm.
Yep.
And I don't know, man. And just, and honestly, as I think about my life and how I live my life up to date, I started driving trucks. Like, actually, I went to the military and went to the Navy. I did 5 years in the U.S. Navy.
Okay.
And the Navy's like a faction. You kind of, if you're going at war with somebody, it'll be us against them, Autobots against the Decepticons, right? Because they're always the bad guys. We're always in the right, the U.S., right? So then I got out and I drove tractor trailers for 13 years. And my favorite truck was Peterbilt's. And Optimus was a cab over Peterbilt, if you didn't know, the original Prime. And actually his later versions, Western Stars, are really good trucks too. And I'm like, damn, did I like subconsciously pattern my life after like stuff from Transformers? Because I'm telling you, man, when I got locked in to Transformers, I got locked in. And another real quick story about Transformers, right? And also, there was a lot going on in my life. I don't want to get too personal about my upbringing and stuff, but the mother and father separated, and there was a lot of madness going on and stuff. And I don't know, man. This Transformers will kind of like bail me out with a lot of things, man. Like when I would watch it as a kid, I would just get lost for that 30 minutes. And or if I had the toy, I would just be in my own world, man, just lost and just good, No,
I fully understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that may be, if I want to psychoanalyze myself, right? Do some deep introspection, right? I think I think that's why I have like an emotional connection to this stuff, man. I do. And my best friend, man, my good buddy, Rob, I don't know, he might be watching. He was in the Transformers too. All of us were in the Transformers, but I clearly was like the fanatical one, you know. Mm-hmm. And if you were around me, you know, it was Transformers going to be involved some kind of way. And we went to go see the movie at Landover Mall in Landover, Maryland. And I remember being in there. We watched it together. And I remember the scene, obviously the big scene where, you know, all these children are in this movie theater and Prime dies. And it's like, you know, crying. You hear weeping in it. I remember. And, I mean, all that's emotions and feelings and stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. Anytime you tie emotion and feelings to anything, I just feel like it leaves a mark on you.
It does. You know? Oh, it fully does.
Yeah, you know, so it's just like it left a mark on me, man. And even though I didn't really get into collecting like toys and all that, like I'm really heavy into that now. But over the years, and even though I kind of took a hiatus, even when the Babe Ruth movies came back, I just never bought into that. You know, I'm not get off my lawn, old guy. Like I'm not open to interpretations of characters I love.
Right.
It's just disappointed me. And again, I don't want to go down this road, but it disappointed me that I didn't, you know, I see, you know, two robots fighting and it's just like a blob of metal. I couldn't tell who was who. It was very disappointing to me. But yeah, I've always kept that connection. I used to watch the movie. I remember buying the DVD and all that stuff, and I would watch it sparingly. And I still had the same feeling, man. Like every time I can watch it now, it still have like chill bumps on, you know, through the movies, the soundtrack. It's just something that's in me, man. I don't know. And you know, I like G.I. Joe, I like Voltron. There's a lot of series that I like, but Transformers just resonated on a different level for me.
Oh, and, fully.
Yeah, and I'm like on into my adult years, and I'm still there. Like it's just never going to go away. And so to answer your question, yeah, I think the emotional ties that I connected with it, the toys, the puzzle aspect of it, like trying to figure out how to turn Starscream into a jet without breaking anything, right? Or well, probably Megatron was probably the big one back then.
Yeah, he was the hardest.
There you go. Oh, I got the movie version of that too. Finally, Anthony. Yeah. And yeah, trying to figure out how to transform that what he just showed without breaking anything, you know, which was, you know, a credit to the Kara and the designers, man. Like, you know what your demo is, the age group, and you know when you're a child, you're not delicate, you know, but they put out a product that for the most part stood up. I mean, you know, some things like I know Mirage's waist was like an easy one to break. Certain other things, but for the most part, they were pretty sturdy. I mean, look, we still collect them now.
Oh yeah,
these things are 40 years old. I mean, you know.
No, it's true, and it's like I can fully relate with that aspect of, you know, you personally get involved within the cartoon, the toys, and even after the cartoon's done, and if you have a bunch of them, you're just, you know, sitting down creating your own, in a sense, your own episodes and just having your own adventures with them for like hours on end.
So look, another quick story, right? So I remember, so again, I'm from Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. I lived in D.C. for like the last 15 years in the proper city, D.C., Washington, D.C. And but my father lives in Virginia, a little town south of Richmond, Virginia. So again, the single parent, the warring parents, right? I would go, one gets sick of me, I go down there, I come back. So I would go down there, and my father was like, he was a police officer, so he made decent money down there, I guess. But I don't know, it wasn't a lot of money for like the good Transformers, like the, you know, like some of the Seekers and all. I would get like a lot of the bots, the mini bots, you know, which would piss me off. You know, I'm like, you know, I wasn't that much of a fan of the mini bots as of Jazz or Sunstreaker, Starscream, or, you know, those kind of guys, Shockwave. So what I would do is I would get paper and draw like Optimus Prime. It's pretty easy, like the basic shapes, the box, arm, the legs, rectangles, stacks, whatever. Put his little windshield chest on, and I would cut them out, and I would like fold them and make them into like truck, make them into the truck by transfer, you know, folding the paper.
Nice.
I would do that because, you know, I don't know. To the point of how fanatical I was with this. Even back then, I was real young at that time. I think Michael Jackson Thriller was out. I was like a child.
Oh yeah.
And Yeah, I remember doing that. I'm like, damn, you know. So it makes sense for it to have carried on. Or some people, maybe most people, it dies off. It just never did for me.
Well, I mean, exactly the emotions that you have attached to it. One thing I did, which freaked out one of my friends because he was more into GI Joe. We had a new color TV, and I took the box from the TV and turned that into my version of Metroplex.
Nice.
And just like cut
Nice.
out the sides, used the styrofoam for the legs, and I think it was probably about 4 feet tall. And
Nice.
but it's like after he's in base mode, like all of my transformers could fit in it. Whereas like you couldn't do that with the actual Metroplex back then.
No, they weren't true to
Mhm.
TV how they were supposed to be in scale wise.
Yeah, I built Beast Machines thrust out of Lego at the time because he was on the show from day one, and I would play with my cousin Nick with the stuff, but we didn't have a thrust yet, so I just like made one so we'd have him. So like, I
Nice.
definitely did that too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the trading at school too. I remember we used to trade at school.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just good times. Like, you know, being a kid, you know, and just being very passionate into something. I think that's the only thing other than sports. I love sports too.
Okay.
Like I love Michael Jordan, obviously, growing up, and Barry Sanders I used to love. So I had a real attachment to sports and Transformers. Those are my two things.
Nice.
You know, and girls.
I think once the girls came into the picture, that's when the Transformers kind of phased out a bit.
Me too.
Yep.
It's a good point, actually. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, it did. And other stuff, like, you know, I was experimenting with this, that, drinking, partying. So, and I got to be 100% right here. Like, this is keeping it all the way real. So I felt a certain way, like the stigma that would be attached with me still being into, you know, Transformers and all this after the age of like 10 or 12 or something, right? At the time, you know. But that's partly because of where I grew up, you know, kind of grew up too fast and saw certain things too soon. And, you know, when I really wanted to still be into certain things, but I forced myself to conform to societal norms and expectations of me. Even some of the bad stereotypes I fit right in. I had to.
So did you eventually get rid of your Transformers, your original G1s, or did you keep any of them?
No, what happened was, Professor, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro.
I think what happened was, man, that they went into like the shed. We didn't have an attic in my neighborhood.
Right.
We had a shed. It wasn't weatherproof. It was horrible. And I think what happened was they probably did a spring cleaning in 1 year and just threw everything away. I had
okay. Too bad. Too bad.
I came back and I looked for them, and I'm like, damn. I mean, and you know, and my family knows how I feel about those.
That's not as bad as a lot of guys. You know, a lot of people like they sold off their. It sounded like you were doing the setup, which a lot of guys say and then regret is like when they reach a certain age to show that they've outgrown toys, they sell them or they give them away. Yep. So at least you didn't voluntarily lose your G1.
No, I didn't. I may have given some to like cousins, but I don't think so because I don't think that's something I would do. Honestly, I would probably just put them in an attic or something if I had an attic, and just figure it out later. You know, but my family, I don't know, man. Again, my family is with who they are. You know, I don't have any of my Navy pictures, my boot camp pictures. They just got rid of all this stuff. I'm like, bro, who does that?
Not everybody is sentimental. You're the collector of the family.
There you go. Good point.
Well, as Professor D and I grew up in the western part of Toronto, and
Western,
you know, and just kind of similar to you get to that certain older teenage, early adult age, and you don't want to go around, you know, showing off that you're still playing with these toys from when you're a kid. But the funny thing is, but
the thing with us is secretly we never stopped.
We never stopped. And the close friends, they would realize that and be like, oh, he's still into his Transformers. And like, they just know that of us. But then how funny it is, like decades later, like everybody's into like the movies, the X-Men and everything. And I'm like, so you guys were hating on us when we were kids. Now all of a sudden you're fans.
So look,
we are vindicated.
Yeah.
You know what, to that point, it's funny now that you said that, because I was just having this conversation with a guy at work about this, right? This kind of in general. So like now it's cool to kind of be geeky and into like nerdy stuff. It's like the new black life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't always
So
the case.
let me interrupt 1 second. I hear a lot of feedback. I'm not sure who it's coming from.
I think it's coming from Anthony's mic.
Oh yeah,
Anthony, you got. Maybe you could turn down the background sound.
oh there you go.
Perfect.
Bam.
Oh,
I'll just unmute myself when I got something to say.
okay.
Oh, was it Anthony? Is that your background? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Johnny. Continue.
Oh no, I was just saying like the stigma that was attached to not only Transformers, but like me, I was really into video games too. Like, how many bits the console has, the render resolution, and all these kind of geeky nuances of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And getting Nintendo Power, and I was really into the specs of those two, and obviously Transformers and comics and all that.
Did you have the Power Gloves? Did you get when you got into Nintendo?
Man.
Did you get into the original Nintendo?
Come on, bro. Of course I did.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. My first console was the Atari 2600.
Oh, okay. All right.
Console.
So you go all the way back. Okay. You go all the way back.
Oh yeah. I'm 45 years old. I go way back.
It's the 2600 from Atari.
There you
Video system with classics galore, from Space Invaders to Cause That Roar. A real hit joystick controls the screen, so Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price, under $50. $50. Now, isn't that nice? 2600 from Atari.
Wow, I'm surprised. How does he know that damn song?
Professor of hip hop.
$17.99 for album, $13.99 for cassette.
Wow. I was impressed if he knew that whole verse.
Me too, to be honest.
No. But yeah, man, like, again, there was a stigma attached to it. There were like labels put on you. And again, nowadays, like everyone's more open-minded on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Whether you talk about sexuality or this, that, the other, or views, or, if you're unlike other people in terms of being more into things that has stigmas attached to them, like the nerdy stuff. It's like kind of in vogue now, where back then it wasn't. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't have been up with my Navy buddies and really wanting to. Even though me, I still had a TV. Like when I was in the Navy, I think Ocarina of Time was out. I beat that like 3 times in the middle of an ocean floating around. I was still into what I was into, and people respected me because I was like a cool guy. I wasn't like, the glasses with the tape in the middle. That was never me. Right. I was always. Yeah. I consider myself fresh. I stayed on top of fashion and all that kind of things. It was, but I like what I like. And it's beautiful now in 2023. Look, I'm not going to fake or try to act like something I'm not. I'm into what I'm into. And I know what charges my batteries, and I'm going to do that. Period.
So I was going to do a follow-up question, but Spin, you got the ones written out. So we'll do yours, and then I'll come in with a couple.
Cool. So let me just catch up on the comments. So Kaden from YouTube says it feels like the MCU should have ended with Endgame. That's just me though, and I think personally it almost seems that way. That everything afterward hasn't been hitting as it should be. Calvin on YouTube says that's wild. It's a puzzle. So I know is referring back to when you were talking about transforming to certain characters and the puzzle aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And Stephen Brock on YouTube has a question for you, Johnny, and it says, who's your favorite X-Men? In no particular order: Gambit, Rogue, Psylocke, Chamber, and Husk for top 5, and 6 to 10, Cable, Multiple Man, Dustin Mercury, Karma. I haven't heard of that character when she was on Rogue lead team.
Yeah, Karima.
Yeah, that's deeper into the X-Men than even I go.
Yeah, Steven is way more knowledgeable than I am. Look, I'm like I guess I'm chalk in the gambling world when it comes to X-Men. I like all of them. I kind of like Rogue because I like the whole Dark Phoenix saga. That's like one of my favorite storylines in there. And so Rogue is definitely up there. I love Magneto. And obviously Wolverine for obvious reasons. He's a Canadian too, so that's probably one of you guys' feathers in your cap.
Yeah.
You know, even though what's the guy who played him? Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 6'3" or something, and you know,
obviously it was a mistake. It was a
5
mistake.
feet.
Obviously, they should have had me play Wolverine.
Well, how tall are you?
I'm a little bit taller than Wolverine in the comics.
Okay, all right. Well,
but I'm no Hugh Jackman. Put it that way.
Yeah, Gambit's cool, man. They just have like for me, X-Men versus Avengers. I just like the X-Men. Like, to me, it's not. I want to say it's no comparison, but I don't know. I just always gravitated to X-Men over the Avengers. I mean, I know we're not talking about those two, but I like the whole team, man. Professor X. I like Magneto. He reminds me of Megatron and some of his views. I actually agree with some of them. You know, when you correlate it to real life, I can definitely relate to some of his views, as well as early Megatron as well. So yeah, I mean, I like the whole team. Cool. Not a good answer, but yeah.
No, it's a good answer. And Stephen Brock on YouTube says nothing wrong about being personal. I joke about Transformers Transformers is how I kept sane during COVID.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I kid.
You got to do whatever you need to do. Yeah.
And Caden also asks you, have you watched any of the DCU movies or DCEU movies?
So EU, what is that? European?
Detective Comics European Union.
I'm guessing Entertainment Universe.
Yeah, I think they make dope movies, man. I mean, if you're talking about like the Joker movie, not the one with the wacky girl in it. I forgot
the Joaquin Phoenix one.
Right.
Yeah, not
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's a dope movie, man. Like, I love that movie on a film level, not just a comic level. You know, I like some of their movies. I think they're trying to go in a different direction, which I think is smart. I don't think it lends themselves to the masses as MCU does with the jokes and the comedy and all these high names they have playing all these actors. But on a film level, I think they're good. I think they're good for what they're trying to do. They're not trying to do what MCU does, because they have that pretty much. It feels like they have that market cornered, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to go a different route, and I applaud them for it. I like some of their movies.
Cool. So Steven Brock says to you, I agree about Bay vs. bots looking like metal blobs. Until Age of Extinction, I feel like they've stopped being allergic to individual colors for everyone.
That was my biggest beef. That was my biggest gripe. I'm like, and again, I prefaced this conversation on how I became a fan, and again, an Uber fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not being able to see any semblance of these characters and these new characters was a problem for me. Just was.
Cool. Steven also says TF Johnny representing DMV and RVA.
That's right. Both. I'm in Northeast Washington and Michigan Park, and I spent some time in Petersburg, Virginia, if you ever heard of it.
Okay. No, I haven't heard of Petersburg.
You're representing the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shibuko, I like Shibuko's comment here. Origami Prime referencing how you said you made them out of paper. And I as a kid, I built a lot of Transformers out of cardboard. So I supplemented my collection that way.
That's smart. That was smarter, actually. I wish I would have thought about that. At least they would have lasted. The paper didn't last long after like 3 transformations.
Wow. Right.
All smudged
well, the cardboard ones.
Lego, man. Lego endures.
10 transformations.
I think Legos were they weren't as advanced. Like now, I mean, I have a Lego Prime over there. I'm like, how'd they do this? Like back then, I don't know if they had like all these sophisticated parts. It was kind of,
Well, I made a combiner out of Lego, which at some point I'm going to bring it back out and kind of showcase it.
Which combiner?
It was more of the inspiration of Voltron, the vehicles, and Predaking. Yeah. Okay. So it's like it has planes and cars, but then it had kind of like the wing and the head section of what Predaking would have.
Nice.
Nice.
I like the creativity. I like that it's not a specific one.
So look, I mean, everyone has a story behind that. Every one of us had a story behind the creative energy or whatever being sparked from this series.
Mm-hmm.
As a youngster, you know, and that's what you want. You want your mind to, you know, kind of think outside the box and try to figure things out, whether it's transforming them or, you know, being creative, creating your own. I mean, I think that's something in your formative years like that. You know, you get the juices flowing.
Oh yeah. Well, Shiva Kobe says I'd make origami rabbits and then figured out how to transform them into something resembling a spaceship with lasers, folded ears.
That's cool.
Or origami laser rabbit sounds like a hit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of that should be the name of a band.
Yeah.
Folding ears.
Yeah.
Samurai. How about samurai laser rabbits?
That's a hit right there.
Adult Swim short.
Yeah. Right. Precisely.
So Stephen Brack saying to me, "Spin. I remember making my own Teletran Autobot base. Nice.
I tried doing that too on a very rudimentary level."
And so John on YouTube also says, "I appreciate Anthony showing models of appropriate Transformers as TF Johnny speaks."
I try to do that. I got a
like
rabbit here because somebody said rabbit.
Like Vanna White over.
Nice.
There.
Nice.
Vanna White. Check out the Transformer.
Yep.
Nintendo Power. Yeah, the magazine, the Nintendo Power magazine.
Wow.
I had a subscription. I was a subscriber.
Yep.
I was part of the club.
You remember all the guides too, all the Nintendo guides for like Metroid and.
I not for sure, but I may have those in storage. I may still have those magazines.
I had the book and I have the hardcover for Breath of the Wild. I mean, you can easily just have your lap book top up and just Google anything, and it's right there. It's easy. I still enjoy having the book. So it's kind of cheating. You know
the head from the rabbit reminds me of Captain Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, it's a Stampy from Beast Wars Neo. Yeah, I see what you mean. I don't know why they made him so demonic.
I've never
he
seen
looks
that
like
guy.
He has rabies.
Yeah, he does.
Is he a bad guy?
No, this was the Bumblebee equivalent on that show, like the young Kid Appeal character, actually.
Wow, he does look like a bad guy.
I don't know about those eyes. Yeah, exactly. Those eyes. Looks like a rabbit. His name should be.
Or are they red?
They're red.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
He should be a bad guy. And his name should be Rabbit.
Exactly.
It sounds like a Turtles bad guy more than a Transformers bad guy.
And he gives them cyber rabies. They get a computer virus when he bites them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the Rust. Remember the Rust in that one?
Right. Something like that. Cosmic
Rust.
That's
a decent pitch for one. Yeah.
They get Cosmic Rust when he bites them. How about that?
Yeah, I'm still working on Beast Wars. I know nothing really about it. I still need to.
Well, I haven't even watched Beast Wars Neo. I just thought this guy was cool.
I think YouTube Pulse just started uploading Beast Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw that. The you know how they have the whole G1 cartoon up there. They seem to have moved on to slowly adding Beast Wars episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I will say, like I said, the animation does get better before the first season's even out. It's a bit rough at the start. But...
So I think I went on Tubi. I think Tubi has it, or one of the free sites. And I got through like the first episodes. I'm like, bro, this is just not doing it for me. I'm like, the animation kind of just threw me. And I had the total opposite experience with Armada. I'm like, this is actually this is all right. I got through 8 episodes like nothing, you know. They were like 15 minutes apiece without commercials. And I'm like, it was pretty good, you know. So, yeah, I'll do Beast Wars next.
Yeah. Like, there were whole episodes that they wrote later on in the show because they were like, we can do a computer animation thing we didn't have the technology for before. They're like, let's do an episode where we go underwater because we can do underwater now and stuff like that.
And they have a following, man. Like, I was going to work. Like before COVID hit, and I think I had a box or something. We had security guards like in front of in the lobby. And I think it had like a box of some Fans Toys thing I had or something. And the guy saw it. I didn't know it was showing. And the guy saw it. He was like, "Oh man, Transformers!" Oh, and he was all. I'm talking to him, and then he looks like a guy who wouldn't be into it, but obviously he had a passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Yeah," and he's like young. He was younger than me, and he was like, "Yeah, Beast Wars." He grew up in Beast Wars, and he started talking about these characters. I'm looking at him like, "Bro, I don't know these characters, but I love the passion, you know." So I'm like, "Yes, a whole generation out there who grew up like we grew up on G1. Mm-hmm. They grew up on Beast Wars, you know."
Yeah. Well, like I said before, like I started on Generation 2 in the early 90s. That's where I grew up. And the fact I had a lot of interests at that age, but the fact that it continued into Beast Wars was like what kept me in the fandom. The fact that there was this show continuing it. And yeah, if you were the right age in the late 90s, that was your Transformers. They had 3 seasons of that, 2 seasons of Beast Machines. That was like 5 years of that's what the brand was about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love it, man.
Cool. Welcome, Rashad.
My boy. What's up, Rashad?
What's up with it?
You tell us.
Hey man, I had to come in and check y'all out. I'm digging what y'all talking about over there.
Cool.
You know, especially my man just did the whole old school Atari rap.
That was impressive, man. But you know what though, Rashad?
Hey, that took me out, man.
Does that, man? Like he knows all these old school raps. That's like the 3rd or 4th one I've heard him do. Like he knows it from end to end.
In the house, big up Rashad.
Yeah, that was fire. I'm like, yeah, I gotta jump on. I was like, man, I ain't heard that in years.
Me either.
So, that made my day right there.
Yes, sir.
Well, Rashad, welcome on. Myself, Spin, TF Johnny, and Anthony, who is Fear of Courage in the corner.
Thank you.
By any chance, do any of you?
I'm in the background.
Yep, Professor D is in the background.
Bubbling in the cut like peroxide.
Oh man!
And like cool. Now, don't ask me because I don't have these memorized. But does anybody know the Generation 2 raps that they did for Transformers commercials in the early '90s? There was a whole one about Bruticus because there was a commercial selling him, so they did a rap about Bruticus.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't think so either.
But I would either. I don't remember any G2 commercials. I remember all the G1 ones though. You know, I see people post them. Yeah.
I mean, I believe at one point they called him a big bad battling Dudicus. So I don't think this was like we're not dealing with like that's the level they were on. I'm not.
That's hilarious. But you know what though? To that point, Anthony, like, and this just came to me. Like, I have a buddy here in DC who owns a toy shop. Cool guy named Kojo. And I get a lot of G1 Transformers from him. And I got the C-Cons, right? He had
Snapdragon.
No, not Snapdragon. Snaptrap. Yeah,
Snaptrap.
Turtle. So I got him in the 2. I got 3 C-Cons from him, long story short. And I'm looking at the colors. I'm like, it's just 80s. It's 80s written all over it. You know what I mean? To his point about the song with Caracus or whatever they called him. You know, it was 90s. Like, so obviously these toys are nostalgic, but they're also a mark of the time. Like, you know, in design and what kids would be into, like early 90s, you know, I can see like one of those bad raps in the early 90s being tied to the toy because that's what kids were into. You know, I think MC Hammer was popping back then.
Oh, yeah.
What was early 90s? Like MC Hammer. I mean, like popular.
These were the colors Megatron rocked at that time period. They made him look like this.
Yeah. He looks like those old cups from back in the day with the red color splashes on them.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yep.
Cool. Let me catch up on the comments. So, so Rashid, before you came on, you said Nintendo Power. Shiba Kobe says that I'm almost 50. My first system was basically Atari 2600.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had the reboot of the 2600, not the wood grain one. They made a black version. That's the one I had.
Yeah, okay. I had the wood grain. I had the wood grain and the ColecoVision.
ColecoVision. I never played Coleco. I heard about it. I never even.
ColecoVision was the bomb.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was that main?
Yeah, because ColecoVision was if you were there. So most of us know the transition from Atari to Nintendo. Like that's where that big jump was. But there was actually a jump from Atari to ColecoVision. If you played ColecoVision, that was a big step up in graphics from the Atari.
Yeah, and then we had the Commodore. Came from the Commodore.
That was not a step up in graphics.
No, it was not.
But it was a range in games. Like that it introduced it like it's sort of the computer game, the role playing, the RPG thing, right? So Commodore 64 was pretty cool, for that reason.
I never played that either, but I do remember hearing about it.
I was all about the Amiga, though. I had an Amiga at the time.
Someone else who had the Amiga.
Oh man, I haven't heard that literally in 40 years. I have not heard that.
It was a big deal at the time. I remember earlier, Johnny, when you were talking about like how the graphic, like Super Nintendo came out and it was like you thought like, man, could it ever get any better? I remember like, every step of the way, and the Amiga was like that, right? Also, when you went from, there was first the Commodore 64s, then the first Apple came out, which was just black and white, but the pixel density, like it had high resolution, and then the Amiga came out, and those graphics were like, we didn't see anything that impressive until that kind of jump until, you remember TurboGrafx 16?
Oh yeah,
wow.
And we thought, and that was gonna blew away Nintendo and Sega for like 1 year, and then they disappeared.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, nobody could afford a TurboGrafx.
Right.
Not in my neighborhood. The only cat that I knew that had a TurboGrafx was my Asian homie John. He was the only one that had that thing, and we'd all run up there to play that, and then it just disappeared.
Right.
Wow.
But it was like revolutionary. Like, look at the cards. The games came on those little cards.
Right, memory card.
Me, that was awesome.
Memory card, basically, right?
Yeah, basically.
What did they even have outside of like Bonk's Adventure and stuff?
TurboGrafx? They had like their main game was like a kung fu game. It was like a street fighting game, and the game sucked. But the graphics were like the graphics looked like a predecessor to Mortal Kombat.
It was, and they tried to, with the fighting games, they tried to play it off like, hey, this is the arcade equivalent.
Right.
They tried.
They all tried to do that though.
And visually, they were the first to accomplish it visually. What's good, bro? Calvin in the house. Like TurboGrafx 16 was the first console system to have graphics that looked like they belonged in the arcade. Of course, the play and the animation wasn't there.
Yeah.
The only game I remember was Bonks. That was like the Mario or Sonic.
Yeah.
And it was an okay game. I mean, went around headbutting, like his head was the weapon, right?
And eating meat.
Yeah.
Bonks. I love that game.
Mm-hmm. I think the Genesis also had like Sega Saturn and all that. Yeah. They tried to, they was always trying to step up their game, It's just funny. We come a long way, man, in terms of technology, as we should, though. We should really be all virtual, I think, at this point, but,
Any of you guys got the Oculus?
No lie.
I've never played it.
I have an Oculus that I've had for like 3 months and never opened.
You ain't played it? Bro, you got to get into the Beat Saber joint, man.
Oh yeah, I've played it. I don't own it, but you just said Beat Saber, and I was like, oh yeah, I played Beat Saber.
Yeah. I'm all about Beat Saber on Oculus.
It's like a rhythm game where you have two lightsabers and you need to hit things to the beat of the song.
Yeah.
It's really addictive, and it's a good workout.
I see videos of people punching kids and walls and all kinds of crazy.
It's plausible. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you have an excuse to hit kids and walls, why would you not take it?
This is true.
Exactly.
Most of the time in my life, I get reprimanded every time I do those things.
There we go. YouTube has banned us. Comments are disabled.
I know.
It says YouTube banned us.
Big Brother is watching.
Did they not like our opinions about Beat Saber and?
Oh man!
All right, let's catch up on the comments. Steven Brock on YouTube says between hanging out with my siblings today and listening to you guys going about Atari 2600, I'm feeling young, and I'm turning 40 this year.
Well, you're still young compared to a few of us here.
You know, in 2 weeks, I'm going. I think I'm like the grandfather to all you guys. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be 50.
Jesus! Wow.
Yeah.
I remember I told that to Jess, and she was like, "I want to see his birth certificate because I don't believe that."
Yeah.
You know what, man? Hey, look, you're young as you feel, man. You know, you got some old 20-somethings walking around here.
That's true.
You know, and you got some young, you know.
I think it's everything starts up here. I'll be 44 this month, so you know, I get it. Yeah.
Well, I'll be 46 in May. So there you go.
Got me. My brother's age, yeah.
You know what? Dip your toe. The guy, you almost turned 40. Dip your toe in the water, man. I tell you what, the 40s have been great for me. I mean, you know, making okay money. You know, I get to support my habit, which is
you know what you're about.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
The plastic crack.
Plastic crack is what it is, brother. That's for sure.
I got Iron hanging out with me today.
Oh, nice.
That's a weird coincidence. Look what I got right here.
All right, there we go. We are in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's a fun little guy. He's good.
I'm just working on this dude.
Oh, which
nice.
That's the Fans Toys Mirage.
Phantasm.
So
nice.
Phantasm. Yeah.
Putting the Toy Hack stickers on it. I recently got into the Toy Hacks thing. They hit me up. They're sending me stickers. I'm like, yeah, might as well. You know,
you're already spending $200 a figure. May as well add another $30 worth of stickers.
Why not?
Here. Best upgrade they did. Legacy Laser Prime. They gave him his mural of Optimus burning down a forest. That's all sticker.
Cool. Can you put that closer? I can't see it.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
The Generation 2 original, like this was a Generation 2 figure first, had this on the side, and the Legacy one is a new version of it, but they didn't put this on there. It's just blank. So Toy Hacks made a kit where you just sticker it all up and it restores the crazy 90s mural. It does other stuff too, but that's like the big selling factor.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a question for Rashad.
Yes,
since you got the new Fans Toys joint right there. In the 3-piece space, the Mirage that replaces is the Ocular Max Mirage. So if you, what do you mean? I'm just saying that's the other masterpiece option that you have.
Yeah,
Transform Element.
Oh, you got Transform Element. Okay, good.
I have the Fans Toys. I sold my Transform Element. I had the Ocular Max too. I'm nuts. I had all three.
Okay, all right. So anyway, so Rashad, if you have or had either of the other two, what is your preference and why?
I didn't have the other two, but I did research before I picked this one up. So for me, it was more so of a, the reviews and going on what everyone else was saying. And this one kind of reigned supreme by a few points. So I'm like, I pick up the Fan Toys. And also, just giving out a secret, there was a company that was like, hey, we like what you're doing. Can we send you a bot? And I said, hey, send me that one. They gave it to me. So
that's green.
It was one of those. Make your connections, man. Make your connections. It's a lot of generous companies out there.
Do you got the Jazz as well? The new Fans Toys Jazz?
Should I go that route right now? I do have it.
I mean, you can. I was just going to ask you a question.
I've been pulling things off the shelves this whole time.
Yeah.
I have. Dang. Let me go grab it.
Yeah.
I have all those Jazzes too, Professor, and I would rank them. I mean, not the Jazzes. I have Jazz too. I have all the Fans Toys releases, to be honest with you.
I mean, we talked about the Jazz. We talked about the Jazz already, right? And
I think we may have, yeah.
We said because I told you I didn't go with the Fans Toys Jazz just because I thought that Downbeat
Toys,
was close enough. Like even if I'm not gonna buy. That's cool. That's cool. What I was saying, Rashad. So I've got the Downbeat, which is the Make Toys Jazz.
How is that?
So It's good. It's good. And the reason, and I have almost every Fans Toys release. I go with most of the Fans Toys releases. But what I don't do is I don't buy it just because it's Fans Toys or just because it's the latest one. Like for me to go through the hassle of like, I'm going to buy, Johnny, as you said, you get the new one, you sell the old one. But selling the old one is like, I say I'm going to do it and then I don't get around to it. So I just end up amassing 2 and 3 and 4 copies of the same figure. Right. So I figure like if the new one comes out and it's clearly better, like hands down, no question, then I upgrade. But if it's debatable, if it's like maybe it's 20% better, then I don't bother outputting the extra money because in the end you're going to lose money swapping it out one way or the other, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a good yeah. And I do like to have the variety. Like I like to have like my masterpiece collection, especially if it's like say figures that are traditionally of the same mold. I don't like to have them from the same company. Mm-hmm. So I've got, for instance, I have the masterpiece Inferno from Takara, and then for my grapple, I'll go with a different company. So I have the Make Toys Wrestle as an example, right? And I'm thinking about getting the Art Fire from KFC because KFC just released all their trucks, so they got their grapple and they got their Inferno. So I'm not going to get their new Inferno because I think the Takara one is not like their new Inferno is not better than the Takara, but it does have its own charm. So when there's a different coloration, then I'll go with that, get that in the Art Fire. And then all the different color variations are from the different companies, and the different molds are represented that way.
Mm-hmm. That's something similar to what I did too. So I have the downbeat, the Ricochet, the Black Jazz. So I have that for Make Toys, and I have the Fans Toys Jazz as my Jazz.
Right.
Cool. So
I'm fairly
catch up on the.
No, go ahead. I was I'm fairly new to the third-party game. The Masterpiece game. I was totally against it some years ago. Reason being, it was just one of those things like those aren't Transformers. That's just the way I felt years ago. Then I got bit by the bug. I think my first one, I don't even know what my first one was. And then it was just like, got to have them all. And some people told me about Fans Toys. I'm like, well, what is Fans Toys? All I knew was Takara, Hasbro, that's it. But when all these other ones came about, I said, yeah, DX9, they have some good figures. I have the Stunnicons from DX9.
Not bad.
They're beefy. Well, Motor Master is just, I didn't even I pulled that one out the box and put it back in. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this one right now. Because I was going through every emotion trying to transform it. So
so you haven't built the Menasor yet?
I have not.
The DX9 Menasor?
Oh, bro, you got to get on that.
Yeah, and I've had it for like a year now.
Yeah.
So
I'm
Bill was trying to
refusing to make the last release.
I don't think Bill has. I think DX9 is maybe the one Menasor that Bill does not have. If I recall correctly, and the benefit to the DX9, which is not the one that I went with, but the Menasor when it's combined, that's the best toy. So it's like the most stable. It works best as a combiner in terms of playability. That's the strength of the DX9. Drawback is just if you like a more sophisticated aesthetic, you get a arguably. The aesthetic of the X-Trans bots is more of a sophisticated aesthetic. And the Fans Toys is up in the air. We don't know yet because we haven't got our last bot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the X-Trans bots, and then I'm also in on the Fans Toys, but of course waiting for the last figure.
So it's not coming out this year apparently, which pisses me off.
Really? Did they say that? Or
I don't know.
We haven't seen.
So I think TW, the TW page, the forum page, they put out the releases for this year, and I didn't see it on there. I know
it's not on the list. Yeah,
I think Werewolf coming out.
But we are supposed to get the final aerial bots.
I hope so. I haven't pre-ordered. I hope so. But we need 2 of those and just 1 of the Stunticons. It's like, what's going on here?
Weird.
Yeah. And to your point too about these 3P Transformers, and I know Spen wants to get to the comments, but you have the tunes. So you have like the Ocular Max back to the Mirages. It's more like vehicle accurate with the nuances and detailing of it's more detailed and sculpted. As the Fans toys is more tune accurate, so it's going to be a little more bland, and but the materials and the I don't know, Fans toys. And you were talking about how you got into 3P. I was the same way, right? I thought they were knockoffs, and I don't do knockoffs on anything, right? But
nice.
I bought Sovereign. That was my first 3P Transformer, to be honest with you. And I bought it, and I took it out the styrofoam. I said, "Oh my god, this is a piece of
Sovereign was your first one? Yeah, that is a piece of art.
Yep.
Sovereign is one of my top pieces. Like, I think that's one of the best Fans Toys pieces.
I couldn't believe it.
Which is Fans Toys Galvatron. For those who
I
don't
had like a loaner copy of that. I remember taking it out. And it was so heavy. I was like, Jesus, somebody could die if this gets dropped on them.
The weight and the paint on it, it just shines. It's so good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. So yes, catching up on the comments, Charlie C on YouTube saying to Johnny, did you have BCG in the Navy?
BCG, what is that? Basic clothing? I don't know what BCG means, Charlie. What does BCG mean?
Okay, so we'll come back to that. Let's see. And Steven is asking, can you teach others how to say Enrico properly?
Henrico.
Henrico
County. It's in Virginia.
Henrico.
Yes.
That does not look like you would say it that way.
Yes, it's Henrico. That's funny, Steven.
Cool. Steven says, Stampy from Beast Wars Neo.
Somebody else recognizes that. Hey, it's going to be Easter soon. Yeah. Oh, and Steven saying Corrada or Collada and Architis are my Beast Wars Neo favorites. Yeah, Beast Wars Neo was weird. So Corrada was a snake, and Architis was a Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatls. The bird. Arctrix.
Yeah, Stephen Bach saying all of Beast Wars 2nd and Neo were on YouTube. Yeah, the reason I never saw them was nobody bothered to like fan sub them until like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So they're only recently been available if you don't speak Japanese. So
they got an English
Japanese, Anthony?
Huh?
You don't speak Japanese?
Nope. Surprisingly, no.
Shiba Kobe on YouTube says he vaguely recalls the G2 raps, and I'm sorry, Rashad, I can't help you with the G2 raps.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm as you can see, I'm too old for that.
I would have bet money that you knew that, man.
But I do invite Shiba Kobe. No, I'm strictly G1, son.
But the G2 had the rap commercials, so you can say.
Yeah, well, I can do the Legend of Zelda commercial.
Yeah. Wow, I hear it's really rad.
Octorock's Tektites leave us too, and with your help, our hero pulls through.
Yep.
They should have just redone that for Breath of the Wild.
It's the Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those whatever. Octorock's Tektites are really bad.
All I remember from those commercials was Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Anthony, to your point, like all the raps in those commercials were like really horrible. And those of us who were into hip hop at the time, like it wasn't funny at the time. Like we hated those commercials. Like that was offensive to the culture.
Yeah.
Like now we look back at it and we can laugh about it. But at the time, those commercials were like, that's like New Kids on the Block, or it's like, and to your point, Johnny, it's like MC Hammer. It's like, this corny shit. What the fuck?
It's basically someone in marketing was like, yeah, I can write a rap. And they're like, you're hired.
Right.
They probably like got Young MC or somebody to write the lyrics.
Wow.
They should have got Young MC to write the lyrics. Young MC could write.
Yeah.
Of the corny rappers, Young MC was actually the
he
smartest.
Can rap, but,
yeah.
I want to see what he thought about
What?
Bruticus.
What? You don't like you? Are you dissing Young MC, bro?
I mean, a
I'm
fun.
not dissing him. He wasn't my cup of tea.
Fun.
Hey! Watch it. Hold on, GF Johnny. You diss Young MC. It's off to the principal's office. You go.
A funny thing about Young MC, you know who used to help him write his lyrics?
Who that?
Tone Loc.
I was just going to say, aren't they related though?
Wow,
they're supposed to be cousins, but I don't know.
They're both LA guys, though, right?
Oh yeah, definitely LA.
They said Loc was like a real gangster, man. Like he was
he was no joke.
Yeah. Rashad, where are you from?
Tampa, Florida originally. I live in Lake Elsinore now, but
all right,
my wife is from
LA. Let's hear you do your best Tone Loc impression.
Oh man, my best Tone Loc. I gotta take it back from one of my favorite movies. When he was in Poetic Justice. You know, when he said what he said.
Word.
He's like, "How you doing, Miss Johnson?" She's like, when she flipped him off. Oh man. Tone Loc, he's one of my favorites because he was a real guy.
He was like an old dude too. Like he seemed like an old rapper. Like he was like in his 40s rapping.
Back.
No, I remember he couldn't dance at all. Like you go and watch those videos. Like he's an old dude just spitting lines. Like that. Exactly. He just had a voice and he had game.
Yeah, he had the voice for sure. That baritone, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So let's catch up on the comments, and then we still have some more questions. Stephen Brock on YouTube says, I shall have to share my custom GSG2 Megatron. I got
this guy
to make it true to the OG G2 toy.
Yeah, because these guys just paint the G1 Megatron into these colors, but the actual guy they're referencing had like a whole different design. So I'd be interested in seeing that too.
Cool. So Shiba Kobe says, I'm gonna be 50 in 2 months, so you got me beat by a hair. So Shiba Kobe is also a 73 baby. Cool.
Well, I have everybody beat by a lot of hair.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No hair.
Wow.
I still got some up here.
Some.
I still got a little bit up here, son.
So
I ain't lose it all yet.
And if you don't, that'll make you a bad person.
So Charlie C mentions, be careful with new art fire in those molds. Someone posted paint peeling on the cab.
Get some Gundam markers. You can just fix it yourself if it peels.
No, but that sucks buying something that, what is that, the X-Transbots? Was that X-Transbots, Professor?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. Sorry, I was marveling at the poetry here. Badmanimous locks. You see, I don't know if you recognize the levels that are in there.
So back to the questions.
The word. I don't know if you're all catching it. The word animus is in there. Like it's not only Transformers, Badman, Locks. It's animus. The motherfucker. It has animosity. Where is all the animosity coming from?
I like the way you spell locks too. Shout out to D Block.
That's right. LOX.
There you go. Exactly. Money, power, respect.
So now we have a question for you, Johnny. Of all the Transformers lines, which line is your favorite and why?
G1.
Yep. I need
because it started everything. That's
no. Which line? Which line? From
right.
No.
You mean line like a vert, like I don't know, such heroic nonsense. I don't know what line. What line are you talking about?
That's a good one. Give us the line and say it in character.
Such heroic nonsense. Bam!
Bam!
People are always like, "Oh, Optimus dying is tragic." I'm like, that was cold. He just like point blank,
bro. I mean,
no, but did you wonder when you were watching the movie? When you were watching the movie, Megatron's going there, boom, blast him, dudes are dead. Did you not wonder yo, 2 years, how come you ain't never shot nobody like that? Well, why all of a sudden you're shooting people and killing people? You just now figured out how to put energon in the cannon? Like, what is it?
Right. Because they had dead aim in that spaceship. I mean, the Decepticons didn't miss. The Autobots sucked. I mean, their aim was awful.
It's because they were this close to each other instead of like on the other side of a chasm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one hitter quitters, man, on that show. But I mean, watching it now, back then, like as a child, it's like, dang, one shot took him out like that. But watching the cartoon, it was almost like indestructible, you know. But
yeah, exactly, it's like, okay, you're used to these guys getting hit over and over and over, and then they're okay. Now they get one hit, they're dead. It's like, what happened to you guys? It's like phases one stunned the whole first 2 years.
That's right.
I don't know. Did they have like some dark energon or something before they got on there? I don't know what happened. But
right.
They took them out easily.
They put the cosmic rust in the cosmic rust tipped lasers.
So Toy Warp Vintage Reviews on YouTube. He usually rolls through it. And he says, just checking in this week, gentlemen, but he lost a member of his team today, so he has to be there for his team. But I'll see you guys next week.
Oh, condolences.
What does he mean by lost a member of Cruiser?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure what level of condolences to give here.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is that a death or is that like a game character?
Whatever level.
I believe it's a passing.
We don't know.
Yeah, I believe it may have been a passing.
Okay,
okay. Well, let's not joke about it then.
Deepest condolences.
Yeah, don't condole. Serious condole. Yeah, in that case.
Oh, hello, Bill.
We got a full house tonight.
Big Bill in the building.
Okay, we need 2 more people to join so we can just do the Brady Bunch opening.
Yeah.
All right, Sheba Kobe, let's get on. You got to come and do these G2 raps for us. What's good, Mr. Magnus? Big Bill in the building. Bamboozling these.
Just playing around with everyone's screens again.
Yeah, we're just zipping around.
Mr. Magnus has that dope upgrade for that what's that Jinbo Devastator. Looks pretty
have you put that together? We haven't seen that on you haven't showed that to us yet.
What is it?
The
upgraded Devastator.
Oh no, I haven't done it yet. It's still in the box. I haven't had time.
I want to check that out.
Toy Review says Cruisers is his main channel and it's a community. So our number 2 member passed away.
Wow.
And he also says thank you to gentlemen.
Wow, sorry to hear that, bro.
Very sorry for your loss, mate.
Wow.
You lost, bro.
So back to our questions and answers towards TF Johnny. One question: how many figures would you estimate that you own?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And I wonder, like, if I didn't sell some of the things that I sold, I could fill this room up probably.
All right,
because I'm constantly looking. I'm always on eBay. I'm always looking.
I tell you what, just go ahead and hit the Jeopardy song, man. Hit the Jeopardy song.
Hey, and Johnny, if you need a place to store them, holla at your boy.
You shouldn't have any room. I know how you do.
Hey, I know, right?
You right in the same boat with me.
Man, I took a bunch of them out the I already put a bunch of them downstairs, man, and
yeah, my attic is full because I keep I'm not a box guy, obviously, but I do keep the boxes and shit. They take up just as much space as anything, you know.
Yeah.
And in the words of Batimus Locks, in this room here, there's a mere 1,200.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I want to like start counting and see how long it takes me to figure that out, but
Oh no, I guess I could count. You know, I was thinking about getting these things insured, so I'm thinking about how much money, putting in there.
That's important. That's important.
Yeah, so I think I am going to do that. My wife is bugging me on that, and I should have been done it. I'm gonna do it.
It's not bad, mate.
Yeah.
I've got this room insured for $350,000.
Ooh.
Yeah, that homeowners insurance, especially in California.
Yeah, it's like
gotta have
$12 a month.
Actually, I'm about
Yeah,
to
Bobby Skullface actually did a whole video on insuring your collection. So any of you guys watching and you guys out there, you got a valuable collection, check out that video, make a plan if you don't got your insurance. Because it can all go. You never know.
Well, and the thing again, like I sell, like once I get stuff in, I sell like the version I don't want anymore because I'm like you, bad. I'm trying to not have so many versions of the same thing. So it changes so much. Like I don't know. I don't know how that factors in. You know.
Well, you know what?
Well,
this
you must have 3 of all. At least 3 of all.
Yeah. Well, this ties into
one in one form, one in the other form.
This ties into question 8. If your house was on fire, which we hope never happens, which figure would you save?
Maybe it's a little bit catastrophical, but I'm like, if you had to save one.
Robinson should be able to drive himself out of the room.
You would think, right? Yeah, he
I got to set a double door
for $1,000. For $1,000, he should come with like
for $1,000. He should be able to help me carry stuff out of here.
Right.
The big
load up the trailer
here. It's on wheels.
Oh, you're just gonna wheel that thing out.
My sister had in her booth.
I like this Unicron.
I just pushed it right out the door. And
I can imagine Bill's house as a fire. His wife goes like, "Did you get the cat?" He's like, "In a second, honey," as he rolls the transformer.
Man, that would just plain suck, man. I would hate. But you know what? I would just start back over. Is what I would do. It would suck. I would start right back over. You know, maybe so the HasLab Unicron. I think I would want. I just like it, not just because it's probably worth one of the, has the most value. I just like it. I like the independent mode, So.
Hey, Span, I sent you a picture in Messenger. I don't know if you can put it up or not, but you really ought to.
Let me see if I can get to it. While I'm getting to it, let me get to another question for Johnny. Let's see. So, do you have any funny stories of getting a character or a toy or one of your figures?
Getting them?
Yeah. So a funny story behind one of the figures that you have.
Or a challenge.
Challenge. Well, on eBay, there's all kinds of challenges. I'll tell you a story that sucks. I had the Zeta toys. Well, I still have it, obviously. The Zeta toy Superion, and I have floating shelves in there.
You already told us that story.
Oh, I told him. Well,
Mr. Magnus gave you the solution and everything.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Well, that still sucks. Well, okay. Well,
he's traumatized by the event. He doesn't remember that he told us.
Yeah, I mean, it popped the the arm completely off. So this
it is ironic. It is ironic that of all the bots that took a dive, it was the aerial bot.
Exactly.
little aerial maneuver there.
Yeah, the pun, baby. I love it. But I think this HasLab Sentinel that I bought it off a dude down in Southern Maryland in Calvert County, and he sold it to me at a really good price. And obviously, the guy was like on meth or something. So that's kind of a weird. That was kind of a weird acquisition.
Which figure?
The HasLab Sentinel.
I got
it for $300 from this guy. Yeah, he gave me
how much?
He gave me.
I'm not familiar with the Sentinel. Do you guys know what he's talking about?
Yeah,
it's an X-Men.
Yeah, it's a HasLab.
Oh, it's an X-Men. Yeah, no, but it's not a Transformers HasLab.
No, the big robots they always fight.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and
I confused him with Galacticus. Yeah.
Yeah, he the guy was clearly on something, man. I guess math. I don't know. He looked crazy in the face.
What is that figure going for?
It's probably about $500 or $600 maybe.
Try 800.
Yeah, I mean, well, just on average,
keeps going up, right?
Oh Lord, I'm being called by the family. The TV is messing up upstairs.
Yeah,
but no, the guy was obviously on something. I got that. He gave me the X-Men More figure. I got that, and there was another figure I got from the guy. He was just throwing stuff in there. And he had sores on his face and just, the guy was going. I could have got it cheaper than that. I know I could have, but
you don't want to haggle at that point.
Yeah, I felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I will
make the exchange and run.
10 minutes. I gotta go fix the TV upstairs. My Verizon service. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. Tell y'all, hey, it's been real catching up with y'all. I will be on again. About to go out to eat with the family, but man, y'all stay cool.
Mm-hmm. Rashad, I got one question for you before you go.
Yes, sir.
Did you just show us the protector bots? You got the MMC protector bots?
Yeah.
What did you pay for Streetwise?
That one.
Yeah, boom.
It was sent to me. It was sent to me by the good people over at the Chosen Prime. So
nice.
Yeah, they've been good partners over there, so I have yet to open it because I've just been busy running around, and then once you get a figure, another figure's coming through. But
check this out. We talk about on this channel the discrepancy in price between US prices, Canadian prices. So I just recently came back to Canada, but I've been in the US the last decade where I did all my collecting. Mm-hmm. So now the other brothers here who are in Canada, they've been complaining the whole time about the pricing. And, I feel for them, but there's a difference between sympathizing and empathizing. So I've been sympathizing, but now I'm here in Canada. I went to the store to pick up that joint right there. So I already have first aid. And then I went to go get Streetwise. Let me tell you what they're charging for Streetwise in the store right here. $180.
Ooh. What? I mean, I think that one is 109.
109, $110. You get it for $110 in the US. And then with the conversion rate, to TF Johnny's point, he was saying, well, the conversion shouldn't be that much. Conversion of $110 should be about $140. But for whatever reason, it's selling for $180. So it is nuts trying to collect up here or down here, up here in Canada.
Man. Rashad, where are you located at?
What's that?
Where are you located at?
I'm in California, Lake Elsinore, California.
Southern Indiana.
What's the temperature out there right now?
75.
Yeah, we're going to be in the 60s and 70s next week. But it was 5 Friday.
Nah, I can't do it. I'm from Tampa, Florida, so I like to tell my family I'm tropical. I need a certain level,
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I can't do it.
I work outside for a living. I work outside for a living, Rashad. I was out in it. It was bitter.
Man.
Yeah, we had about 20-mile-an-hour wind all day long Friday. Ooh. It was horrific.
Yeah, I step out, be like, nope, back in the house. Let's turn that heater on. But yeah, fellas, hey,
all right, Rashad,
we'll do this again on Instagram. I'm Rashad the Toy Collector. Reach out to me, and I'll definitely be back on. This has been a blast for me.
Cool.
Right,
thank you for rolling through,
all
man.
Right,
hey, Charlie, how's it going?
Goodbye.
Yeah, Charlie arrived just in time to fill the place.
Yeah. What's good, Charlie?
I got moved into Mr. Brady's seat.
So, Charlie, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Charlie, don't drink all that stuff on the shelf there.
Wow.
Whatever it is, it can't be that bad.
That's my my kitchen storage right now.
Sorry about that, folks.
Oh, no worries.
All good.
All right, now that you're back, I have another question for you. So, do you own any figures where you disliked the character but still needed that figure to complete a line?
Absolutely. Pretty much all the mini bots.
Cosmos, Sea Spray.
There you go. Warpath.
Wait, Warpath. Hold on. Warpath. That Warpath figure is awesome.
Oh,
the point is, do you like the character? Yeah, the character,
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Wow! Damn!
Exactly.
Wow!
I'm trying to make a catchphrase happen.
Willie was pretty annoying too. Not Willie. I'm sorry. Wheelie was pretty annoying too.
Yeah, here's the platoon. Here's the least manageable Autobot platoon for you. Wheelie, Blur.
Dinobots.
Yeah, right.
Oh, come on. Blur. Blur was one of my favorites.
Who were we just talking about? What is the character we just mentioned?
Wheelie,
yeah.
No, before that I got me on that.
Warpath.
Warpath, Power Glide, Blur, and Wheelie. There you go.
Sea Spray.
I think Sea Spray would just walk away. Like I think any other Transformer, like no matter how, like even like Grimlock. You said the Dinobots.
Oh,
you meant around those four guys. Like if you had those four guys hanging out in a room, everybody else would just leave.
No, I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Dinobots would be like, "Yo, these guys are too much. We gotta
go." Probably, yeah. Yeah, they brought us some interesting personalities with the new batch, right? Especially Blur. Blur was, interesting.
All right, another question. What is a Holy Grail figure that slipped out of your hands that you would love to get?
Oh no.
Man.
I
have mine, so I can't.
I would love
I can't comment on that one.
I just, and I see them all the time on eBay. That's something I'm actively looking for.
Oh no!
But I'm not trying to pay, $7,000-8,000 for that. I don't want to do that.
Right. For what? Prime?
A brand new G1 box Prime, and then you have to make sure it's legit and all that.
Oh.
I want a Prime and a Megatron box, new, but the chance. I like prototypes too. I like it. I saw a prototype of the HasLab Unicron that was pretty cool. But
somebody was selling a prototype HasLab Unicron, and I'm like, okay, so usually those things are like stolen, right? And I'm like, how do you get one of those out?
Right. Mm-hmm. And he wanted like $15,000 for it. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. What do you mean, Anthony? What do you mean, Anthony? We did a whole video on how you steal a HasLab Unicron. You just put it in a fucking baby carriage and reel the baby out. You just say,
you would need a big baby carriage.
That's it.
Well, I guess if you take the rings off, maybe. Yeah.
Not just a regular baby carriage.
If you go through our previous videos at the TFCon in Toronto last year, someone brought the HasLab Unicron in a baby carriage.
All right.
That's signed by the man himself. Look at that.
Yeah. That's awesome, bro.
Very nice.
This was mine.
That's a KO.
That's a KO?
No, it's not.
Oh.
No,
that's original. That's from the 80s.
They couldn't get a better box.
Oh boy. Can you revise that item again?
Is that signed by Frank?
Yeah.
Yeah,
look at that with the signature.
Oh my God, bro! Those
both
are two great pieces, man.
And Peter Cullen signed the other one.
I got both those in my collection, but not signed. Very nice.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
That's impressive.
We got to get that one signed.
Yeah, he's still got the $19 discounted price tag on it where he was on sale.
From which store?
Those are there.
That's the deal.
Which store?
Lanes.
What do you say?
Lanes. Lanes. Lanes.
We don't have those. I never heard of those.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Kmart.
Was that the Midwest?
I mean, they were around when I was a kid, but I don't remember them when I was a teenager. So,
What part of the country?
I live in southern Indiana. I've always lived here. Okay. Indiana, Kentucky border, right on the Ohio River.
Damn, that was awesome, bro.
Yeah.
There's a guy named on eBay with the MP36 signed by Frank, and he wants like $500 for it. And it's like, man. I kind of took a peek, but I'm not.
Yeah, I met Frank.
I mean, if you didn't
Peter
have
Cullen
MP36, MP36 was almost
year.
$300 anyway. Sorry, Mr.
What was
Magnus, what'd you say?
This is true.
I said I met Peter and Frank both at what was that IndyCon the Fanboy Expo in Indianapolis last year, and I got 2 autographs from both of them, $85 for each autograph.
I was going to ask how much that would cost, which ain't bad to get that signed, because you know,
Right.
you just, again, I know you're not doing it for monetary
They
value.
ain't getting no younger.
They ain't
Right.
exactly.
If they're getting within driving range, you best be getting there. They ain't getting any younger.
Yeah, Peter's in his 80s, right?
Yeah, he was looking rough, dude. He was not getting around that con very easily.
Talking about Frank? You talking about Frank or Peter?
Peter Cullen is like 80, I think.
And Frank, I don't think is all there anymore.
Wow.
Oh no.
There was one of the people there that was talking about the fact that he kicked into whatever you were showing him's voice, and that's how he talked to you. And I heard one of the people behind the counter there talking about the fact that people don't know what his original voice is anymore because he can't get out of character.
He's vanished. He vanished into the role.
Yeah. Maybe that's the legend he's continuing to cultivate.
The character now.
Wow. But you know what though? To his, I don't know if that's true, and that may be. But when you go to these cons, a lot of these guys do that. Like I met the voice actor for Mario and Mario 3. He's like this wacky guy, and he talked in the Mario voice the whole time. I'm like, bro, you know what? You can come out of character now. Thank you. But
but that may be his real voice. Like maybe he's always been that Mario
that
character.
Was the weekend before David Frank took his life. That was the last con he was at Fanboy Expo in Indianapolis, and I saw him there. And then that Thursday, we get the announcement that he killed himself, and I was going, "You got to be kidding me! I just saw him 4 days ago."
Wow.
Who are you talking about?
Jason David Frank, Green Ranger.
Yeah, Green Ranger, White Ranger.
Yeah. And we had the whole. We did the episode.
Did you guys watch that?
I mean, I did because I was a kid in the 90s. So
yep.
Right.
I thought it sucked back in the day. Like I couldn't get into that at all.
To me, it was like watching the old Godzilla movies. Because I grew up on the old Godzilla movies because I'm old as dirt. But yeah,
no, I remember Godzilla. But I mean, I was like, bro. I mean, I know they were going kind of over the.
No, I hated Power Rangers. I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, but they have a huge following now, like a huge following.
Apparently, I think you had to be 3 years old when you saw it the first time, and then it's cool. Then it's cool for your whole life as long as you were 3 the first time. I think that might apply to anything.
I've not had much interest in revisiting it, so I'll put it that way.
Oh no, this guy. Yeah. Oh no, this guy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, okay.
The 90s, the 96 movie was like good for a laugh.
All right. Calvin, I'll modify my statement. The only way anybody likes Power Rangers is if they were 3 the first time they saw it, unless they are Calvin, in which case you could be 6 when you saw it.
Are you sure about that?
That's the White Tiger's
Or you just guessing, like always.
You could be 6 years old and it's still cool.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I don't like I just said. Back in those days, you didn't have that too many graphics like that besides Godzilla and the Kamen Rider and most of your CGI animes like the Guyver, like literally like that stuff was like top notch back in those days.
Which one? You said who?
The Guyver.
It's a movie they did with Mark Hamill was in it. It was like it was one of those, but it was like aimed at an older audience.
So since we're talking about live action, what did you guys think about the He-Man live action movie?
That movie was I got one of those too.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you got that?
Yes.
Yep. I wanted to say, the live action He-Man movie is the only thing from that franchise I've actually seen. I saw it like a year ago. I had fun with that movie. I'm like, I found it maybe not for the way they intended, but I found it immensely entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know those are coming. I'm like, those kind of got me interested because I'm like, I enjoyed that movie so much.
So for people who don't know, hold on. Let's just say for people who don't know Charlie, what Charlie's just showing us on the screen is actually the Masterverse figures that are the movie versions, the live action movie versions.
Yep.
Of those. So that's the live action
Frank Langella,
Skeletor.
Skeletor, Dolph Lundgren, He-Man.
Yeah. I'm not a He-Man guy, but that's dope actually.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so to Shiba Kobe, well, you're not a He-Man guy. You said you first got into He-Man.
Oh yeah,
I did.
Didn't I just finish saying when you're 3 years old, whatever you see at the time is dope, and He-Man is what I saw when I was 3, and that was the best.
That was my behind Star Wars. I think was my first introduction to like any franchise. I think Star Wars might have been number one, but the first action figures I remember getting was He-Man, and I was into it at the time. But again, you know, when Transformers came around, it kind of snuffed a lot of those.
Mine was Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
I have one of the original Cylon space saucers and one of the original rapiers.
Wow!
I wish I still had them. God, no, I wish I still had them.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that they were tied to bicycles or something else.
I don't remember Battlestar Galactica. I never watched it. I mean, I remember Buck Rogers. You guys remember that? That's going
I remember Buck Rogers.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I was into that.
They talked about redoing Buck Rogers.
They should bring it back. They bring everything else back.
Yeah.
What was the robot's name? What was the robot in Buck Rogers? The little kid robot.
Twiggy.
Yeah, I liked him. I like Twiggy.
Now here's a question: what was the name of the robot that sat on Twiggy's chest?
Oh Lord!
Oh, and it came off, right?
Yeah.
That's what was dope about Twiggy.
But actually, I think
Twiggy,
later in the
Twiggy
Seder,
versus C-3PO. Who wins? To the death.
Wasn't a fighter though.
To the death.
Yeah.
C-3PO could
Yeah, well, Twiggy. I don't know that Twiggy is a big fighter either.
God, Twiggy was a fighter.
Was he? I mean, C-3PO has range advantage. He's got reach.
We need help.
Yeah, but he can barely move. You ever seen him actually move? He's like
Twiggy is a little encumbered as well. I'm not sure if you know. Twiggy's not the most articulated robot.
Well, Shiva Kobe says, I have a secondhand OG Battlestar Galactica Cylon figure.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, okay. And Shiva Kobe has the answer. Dr. Theopolis was on Twiggy's chest a lot of the time, but was also put on shelves.
Theopolis. Okay.
So a member of the Computer Council. Interesting.
Computer that's a doctor. That's interesting.
So, Span, were you able to get that picture?
Yes. Let's see.
This is what I found this weekend.
Let's have a look whenever it comes up. Ooh, yeah. For $6, that's absolutely worth it.
No, 50% off from that.
Gold mine at its finest.
I got that on sale too. It was like
$3
at Ross.
Yeah,
shoot,
is that
$3 each.
Wow.
Shadowcat, yeah. Those two, both of those were in my local Ross. I got both of them. They were like $9 a piece, so $7 a piece.
The only thing that we've had at our Ross lately has been Black Arachne, and she's down to $6.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I saw pipes.
I've been going trying to find hot links. Or not hot link, the Sparkless Secret.
Yeah.
People are finding those in Ross's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I need to
get anything in my Ross anymore.
Yeah, the one that I'm trying to find is there's a rumor in Canada that Draculus is being discounted at Winners for like $11.
Gee.
Wow. Yeah. Which, considering how overpriced that was when it came out, I'm like, yeah, I'd absolutely grab that for $11.
Mm-hmm.
I'd buy that for $1.
$350.
Yep.
Straight
Sold.
up. It's pretty close to what you actually paid.
You remember that movie Better Off Dead back in the day?
Oh yeah.
That paperboy kid was trying to get that $5. Hilarious.
So, three more questions. So, what's your favorite bit of Transformers media, be it show, comic, or film, and why?
Well, I like the IDW origin stories of Megatron. That's probably my favorite because I like what he stood on and who he represented and what he was trying to do. And it's a story of the old, once you kind of attain power, how you can be corrupted by it.
Yep.
And I do like that. I kind of like obviously I love the 86 movie too, but I kind of hate it in a sense too because it killed off like my childhood hero, but it was still a good movie, man. I mean, being very young watching it, hearing curse words in a cartoon that I loved and I watched for years. And, I hear some adult content and, so I'll say those two things.
It was ambitious.
For me.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And the next question: boxed or unboxed?
Definitely unboxed. I get why people do it. I just, I don't sit around and, play with my toys. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. But I do like to feel them. And something like we were talking earlier about fans toys. That's something, if you look at a fans toys piece and you put it beside like a Takara, like the same thing, they may look very similar, on the aesthetics. But when you pick them up and move them and feel the material and the transformation, you see the difference, So I don't think you really get that by keeping it in a box.
And what, Anthony, you're going to say?
Yeah, like I've been idly spending my time getting Ironhide figured out into his vehicle mode. So I unboxed it while we were talking.
Nice.
So an 11th question, which is inspired while we've been talking.
The secret one.
Yes. Have you moved or created a room for your collection?
Yeah, I'm in it now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said before, we're looking to get another house and we're moving to Delaware from DC, and the house will have to have a nice big basement because I'm going to go absolutely nuts in it. I'm already nuts in here, but I'm going to expand this thing even more. And I'm hoping to have a G1 Transformers museum down here. I want to get like Magnus.
Nice.
I look up to Magnus now. He showed me two pieces that I love, and I'm kind of jealous, and I want it.
Yeah, I've said before, his space resembles a really, really good booth at a convention.
Convention, yeah.
Have you seen Bobby Skullface's setup?
Very nice.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. How is his setup?
It's like you're walking down into like a museum or something where he's got I think all his shelves are all black and he's got everything displayed just right, and it's crazy. I was like, my wife would kill me if I did something like that.
Next time I go visit my sister, I'm going to replace all these black shelves. Whoops, that way. So all these black shelves with more of the Billies, which are those right there, those white ones with the doors on them from IKEA.
Yeah, right. I haven't. I'll show my room real fast, and I just, again, I don't have all the lights on, but I mean, it's those like the details.
Oh, nice.
And I have all this, I play my little computer games and stuff on there, so it's cool, but I have a lot of stuff that I had to pick and choose what to kind of put out because I have, a limited amount of space.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have
oh no,
everything.
Yep. Unplug this camera.
I know, right? Now I'm trying to put it back in this contraption. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's dope, man, to be able to do this, man. Again, I come in this room, I'm sure Magnus feels the same way. And I just feel good instantly. You know, some of this stuff just sits on the shelf for months at a time unless I dust them off. And I just sit here, look at them. And it's great. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, this is my relaxation place. I come and sit in this chair right here, sit at this computer, and I'm surrounded by all the things that just bring me peace.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah,
like I said, I work over there, so I'm surrounded by that stuff during the day when I'm on the job. So I'm a little bit. It centers me.
Mm-hmm. So within the topic that you inspired of what made you a fan of Transformers, I asked this question on Reddit, which did spark a lot of different answers. One of them saying seeing robots turning into cars was amazing when I was a kid. And the transformation of 6 robots into one is what got them hooked, which they're speaking of Devastator. Another person says, I grew up in G1 in the 80s, so always loved cars, robots, and they also mentioned puzzles and war. It was only natural. Mm-hmm. For someone else, they said Transformers Prime during the 2000s, and they were a huge Sonic fan and felt it had a lot of amazing and heartfelt stories. But the 2010 series in the Saturday morning cartoons took an approach that left them upset and made them leave the franchise, but they came back in 2011 when they watched Transformers Prime.
What was that in 2010? Are they talking about animated? I think that was over by then. I don't know. I need to check the timelines. Because, Transformers Prime did start in 2011, so that part's correct.
I'm surprised it started that far back. I didn't realize it's been that many years.
Man.
Yeah, that hit me because when they did those re-releases of like Breakdown and the Viacon and Megatron, that was the 10-year anniversary. That's why they did those. And I was like, oh my god, that's still recent to me.
Well, they're going to be coming out with the 40-year releases too soon, right? Next year.
They said,
should be.
Wow.
They said the Hasbro people said in one of their live streams, there is going to be another HasLab. They're not saying what it is. It's not, except that they're like, we're aware it's the 40th anniversary, so it's going to have something to do with that. That's all we know.
Can I throw hints out there?
Yeah.
Trypticon.
What, another one? They already did one of those.
The updated one. They got. I watched that Cyberverse cartoon. That was the funniest stuff ever, man. That Trypticon in there, I like that one too. But I think we're gonna get another Trypticon or either another Metro. I think we'll get the classic Metroplex. That's what I'm thinking.
Primus.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Primus stand right beside that guy right there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, you can get classic fans involved because if he changes into Cybertron, well, then people will be interested in just having a big, accurate Cybertron just to go with Unicron.
Stephen Brock on YouTube
one with all the holes and stuff. Then
that'd be interesting to design the holes of Cybertron into that figure.
Yeah.
I love that stuff like that, though. Like who honestly would you guys honestly believe as children, right, that they will make a masterpiece look like what you? I mean, the likeness is like spot on for a lot of these masterpieces for the characters we grew up with, and for them to be able to transform into the proper alt mode as well. Like, it's amazing to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Johnny, I have to ask you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
You have something behind you that I haven't been able to see yet.
Which one?
The fan.
I need to see that Optimus Prime helmet.
Oh yeah, sure.
I've got the other two, but I can't find an Optimus Prime one.
He was on that. Let me bring him into the light. You can see it better.
Step forth into the light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, baby.
Nice.
Well, I'm trying to look at it as I'm. Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Oh, let me hit the voice thing. Hold on. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, I've got Megatron. My son got me Megatron for my birthday, and then I found Soundwave on sale online. But
Nice.
I have not been able to locate one of those. That's nice.
Wow, that is nice.
Yeah.
Thank you,
those
sir.
are dope, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now he won't shut off. I don't know why he's doing that.
There, we have another stream member.
Yep.
Right. Maybe he'll cut off. But yeah, they did a good job with those, man. The Soundwave one is excellent. I think that's the best release for that. I'm not crazy about the Megatron, but the Soundwave is really good.
I think the prices shot up on them recently too.
I caught them on sale, man. Like GameStop, I don't know, they have like really good sales here.
Yeah, I found that Soundwave on sale for like $50 shit.
Yeah, I got them for. Yeah, that's what I got them for. I got him.
Yeah, it was 48 and change plus tax.
Yeah, I got the Megatron. I think it was like $60-something, and I think the Optimus was like $80 or something like that. But on sale. So, and you can buy stands to put the helmets on too. I haven't done that, but I may do that. I don't know.
Are they a third-party one, or are they like official?
I'm not sure. I think they're honestly. I don't know. I can't remember where I even saw them at, but I did see them. They were like $12 a piece, I think. So I may give them.
Or just get a like one of those styrofoam mannequin heads.
Yeah, you can do that too. You can do that too.
I'm just gonna bring my mannequins up here and put them in.
Wow.
Just have I'll have Megatron and Soundwave standing behind me. Mm-hmm. We can go. A Megatron said.
So look, there's a guy here in DC, right? He's a doctor. I think he's like a brain surgeon or something. And he lives in Georgetown. And Georgetown is kind of like a high-end area here in DC, right? So this guy's obviously a Transformers fan, right? So he puts up two huge statues, a Bumblebee and an Optimus, like Ravers.
Yeah, I've seen those on the news.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah, and they're raising holy hell about it. And
he's not to take them down.
Yeah, he won't. And I think he's like within his right. The neighbors are complaining, and he doesn't care. I love that guy.
Where are they? Are they in his front yard or like what?
I think they're like in the front. It's not a yard because it's kind of DC. It's like I don't know if it's a row house or like a townhouse type deal.
All right.
But
residential area. Anyway, it's in a house in a residential area.
And they're like 12 foot tall.
Yeah, they're tall. Cool. They're over his doorway.
No, listen. What I started saying, what I was telling Spin last year, after I basically completed my masterpiece collection, like we need to protect the bots, a few other things. I got my masterpiece collection. It's like, where do we go from here? What do I start collecting? And literally, like when I can't do it now. I'm back in Canada, but like when I was in the U.S., I like started looking at, like getting a 944 Porsche, getting a buggy, and eventually I wanted to get a Peterbilt truck. And like basically, like where do you go from masterpiece is like you start collecting the actual vehicles. I think Bill, we talked about this too. Like start collecting the actual vehicles and then like painting them up to look exactly like, the Transformers vehicles.
Oh yeah, I have too.
I don't think NASA's selling any space shuttles, so you're out of luck for Astro Train and Skywings.
Yeah. Mr. Magnus has already got some hot rod.
I got a 76 gold Volkswagen. And I have an 84 Corvette.
Really?
Oh, dope. I don't think you've shown us either of those.
Do what?
In the proper colors?
In the colors. He's asking you if you have them in the right colors.
Well, the Volkswagen is gold bug. It's in the champagne gold color. The Corvette is white right now, but it is in my father's will for it to come to me, and when it comes to me, it'll be blue with the flaming Autobot symbol on the hood of it.
It'll be
That's next level.
A real live track, like the blue with the Firebird on the front. That would be look. That might be a close second to having actually a red Peterbilt. Well, I guess a Lambo would be better.
So there's a guy on Instagram named.
You know you can get Countachs right now. You can get 84 Countachs, 85 Countachs for like 25, 30 grand right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes my actual plan for getting my Lamborghini. That actually complicates my plan, because what I'm always been planning to do is get either a Fiero or a Civic, rip the body off, and just put a kit on it. But I'm not even going to buy the. You can buy the kits for 20,000, 10, 20,000. It's what they used to be back in the day. I'm sure you know. But with 3D printers, with the way that we can model stuff now, I figure I can just make my own panels out of carbon fiber, make them exactly like the original Lambo, stick them on a Fiero. But if it's only 45,000 to get a real Lambo, I don't know. The amount of time it would take me to make those panels kind of wouldn't be worth it.
Well, I was going to say if you can find a Fiero that still works.
Yeah, the car.
That's why I was saying a Civic. That's why I was saying maybe use a Civic.
The car you need to look up is a late 70s Opel GT. They're mini Corvettes. They're mini Corvettes. My sister had one when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're Corvettes the size of Volkswagen Bugs.
That would work.
So Steven has another question. Since TF Johnny said he watched Armada a bit, was there any characters or toys he liked from Armada? I especially like toys of Demolisher and Cyclonus even now.
I never really collected or looked at collecting their toys. The only things that I've seen have been re-releases, like through the Legacy line.
Yeah, now's the time because they're doing a bunch of them.
Yeah, so I do like how some of the characters look. I think Starscream looks pretty cool on there, and I know he's one of them. So I would definitely, I like Starscream. The Hotshot character looks pretty good too. And another line, speaking of just different lines, again, I'm not really used to. So again, my buddy has a hobby shop, and he had an old Energon Megatron. It looked like a G1, but I think the date stamped on it was like 2000, I think.
Okay.
2002 or something. I really like that thing, man. It's not like super valuable, but I love the way it looked.
Yeah, it's like a Galvatron update specifically, like a Toy Colors Galvatron.
Yeah, but it's very G1 and it's big. I like it a lot, man. I might go back and get that. I don't know nothing about the series either. I just like the toy.
Oh yeah, Energon was a terrible show.
4 a.m. comes real early, so I'm going to sign out of here.
See you, Mr. Magnus. Damn, I want that Prime and that Megatron, man. I'm going to be thinking about that later tonight. That's awesome, man.
Thank you for rolling through again once again, Mr. Magnus.
Gentlemen, you all have a good week, and I will see you next Sunday.
See you, brother.
See you.
Well, if I can figure out how to close this thing this time. What's going on? Oh, there we go. My tech guy came over and hooked up my 3 monitors for my gaming. Nice. And so everything spreads across all 3 of them now. And so now I've got to hunt to figure out how to shut shit off.
Man, he's like my twin. I have a whole gaming.
Oh, yeah, you haven't seen. Hang on. Settings. Where is that?
Control delete.
Pull the plug.
Pull the plug, right?
Oh, control delete.
Nope, it's not that one.
Oh no.
He's still there.
He's there. It is. On.
Yeah, so.
At least you had pants on.
Yeah, this is my battle station.
Nice.
Which games are you playing right now?
What's that?
Which games are you playing right now?
I play MechWarrior Online is my big thing. That's what this left-handed keyboard replacement controller is for. It's a big stomping mechs, man. You're going into battle, and this right here, it replaces having to do this. I found this at that Give Me 5 store. It's a $130 controller.
Oh, wait a minute. That replaces your keyboard?
Yeah. Yeah, this replaces the keyboard.
Again? Let me write that down. What is that called?
It's called a keyboard replacement left-hand controller.
Keyboard replacement. I've been looking for one of those, man. I just Googled it because I thought it would be a good idea. I didn't think they made them.
Yeah, it's got 3 buttons on the front, 9 buttons on the top, and the joystick controller.
Cool. Look into that.
Oh, snaps.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Oh, snaps.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm out. That's probably Soundwave saying time for bed.
It gets cut off.
Later, guys.
All right, take care.
Oh yeah, and there's Energon Megatron, just because they mentioned him a minute ago.
Yep.
I got that one.
I seen that. I seen that on eBay for $150. I'm thinking about debating just to buy it.
I got it for $25 and I didn't get it.
Wow.
It's still there though, so I could go back.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Energon was I think like the 20th anniversary of Transformers. So a lot of the figures in that line were like this, where they were like really specifically homaging like old characters. Like this was like a Toy Colors Galvatron, and like they did a hot rod and a Wheeljack and like a bunch of specific homages before that was common. So like that was special back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Legacy Metroplex was from Energon too, I believe.
It's from Cybertron, yeah. The third part of that series. This was Armada, Energon, and Cybertron, or like a trilogy, like they do now. Except they actually, exactly like they did now. Except with the Netflix shows, they just had the animes instead.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Some more of your comments. Stephen Brock says, so Transformers statues in Georgetown have their own Wikipedia page.
That is hilarious.
Wow.
Oh, he's in my area. Have you seen those in person, Stephen?
I gotta look that up.
Like going to China.
I didn't know they had that, a 2-pack.
Energon Prime and Megatron 2-pack. Oh yeah, that was a thing. I think they were like smaller versions of them on purpose. Like they made them tiny.
Yeah.
See if they listed on the Wikipedia page here. I just had this pulled up.
So while you're
that too, or I think I still have it.
So while you're searching for that, in one of the Facebook groups, someone else had answered to Johnny's question, saying the reason why I'm a very big devout fan of Transformers from 84 to 87 is because I'm very sci-fi action adventure person, and Optimus is one of my favorite Autobots and leaders of all time. Let's see, of all time, including the others like Jazz, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Ironhide, Ratchet, Prowl, Blue Streak, Sideswipe, Sunstreaker, Trailbreaker, Mirage, Hot Rod, and Ultra Magnus. And also mentions Cup, Blur, Springer, RC, Blaster, Perceptor, Rewind, Eject, Ramhorn, and Steeljaw.
He included the cassette.
That's like everybody.
So it's like I really love episodes and the storyline as well as the movie from 86, and with all the celebrities that are within it. Then finally got the entire series on DVD, the box sets, and the Blu-ray, and they're awesome and really cool.
Mm-hmm. They are very, very nostalgic. I'm a nostalgic guy in general, but yeah.
So I got a question, Johnny. So do you like in the movie with the Junkions? What do you think about those guys?
I think it was interesting. You know, I like how they tied them in with Weird Al, and they kind of made them kind of quirky and the whole TV commercial guys. I love how he's right there, quick trigger. He's got the guard right there on display.
I just happen to have it, so
right in the arm's reach.
Yeah.
That's a good figure, man.
Yeah, like I'm not the biggest Junkion fan, but like this particular figure is just like real good.
Mm-hmm. No, it's interesting. They're interesting, Calvin. I mean, could they done without them? Yeah. I mean, they could have devoted more time into the main story of what was going on in '86 movie.
Also, good luck understanding what Eric Idle was saying without subtitles because of how much they processed his voice.
Oh man, yeah.
I was watching it like doing that, but with my ears.
Look how much bigger Megatron is in this 2-pack.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just looked this up really quickly. These were like downscaled, slightly smaller guys. They just did as like a 2-pack that was in a Toys R Us thing. So it probably actually costs more than just getting the regular size.
$300
exclusive. Yeah.
Wow.
eBay prices.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just get the regular ones. These
Yeah.
guys are smaller, but they cost more.
Yeah, the version that got at my local store has that on Megatron, those lime green kind of translucent.
Yeah.
They're solid, like a solid green. So I don't know what variant that is.
Yeah, it's a because this is a downscaled one, and the regular version is up here. Yeah. So yeah, they are a different color.
What's up with the red one?
Yeah. Good question. It's just some it was a random like exclusive Japanese repaint. They would do these. You get them from like a magazine, and there'd be like 5, limited to 50 pieces.
Oh, I like the red one.
Right.
Yeah. But the more important thing is they eventually did him in cartoon Galvatron colors as Energon Galvatron.
Nice.
That looks good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see the chest, those red squares.
Yeah.
You see how they keep it G1 with the purple and gray?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, they just did the toy colors version first, and then the show colors version later. And then because they were making a cartoon about it, like he gets an upgrade halfway through the show, and because it was an anime, it's like
I like he has a whole tank. I like he has a whole tank on his arm.
Oh, that's interesting what they did there with the design, because that's meant to look like his Armada form. Like right here.
Yeah.
You can see it's the same tank. So the Energon version of him was like wearing his entire previous body on his arm as a weapon.
That's hilarious.
So
that looks
like
pretty
design.
It's different. It's,
Yeah. Yeah, like it's the right age now. Like this is why they're doing these guys in Legacy as well. There's a whole generation of kids that like came up on this series, like Armada, Energon, and Cybertron. So that's why you're seeing these get upgraded. I did not like the show. I watched Armada, but like I was the wrong age for that. This was like 2002, 2003. So I would have been like okay. Well, I'm bad at math. I was born in '88. 98, 2001. Yeah, I was 14. I was the wrong age for that show.
Wow.
But a lot of people these days really like it. And there's a soft spot for the figures because a lot of them are thought of as being like really good, even if the show wasn't very good.
So let me ask you this, Anthony, about like Armada specifically, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have like because G1 is a huge lineup, right?
Yeah.
They don't seem to have that many characters in the Armada that I've seen so far to the point
Well, they rolled them out really slowly on the show. But also the fact that Armada was like about the mini cons because they were trying to get them all. There was a lot of mini cons, and you start to see them show up a lot more. So like they were like Micromasters. They just did so many 3-packs of them. So a lot of the line was made up of those guys.
Cool. So let's see. Stephen Brock says, TF Johnny, I moved to Ohio in late 2019, so I miss seeing those statues.
I wonder if they were up then.
Yeah.
Well, how far, like, is it recent, these statues? Or?
I think I remember hearing this story. Let me see. I want to say before COVID.
Okay.
I want to say, I may be wrong, though.
Before I forget, speaking of Armada, there's a podcast I started listening to, and I happen to be on a Discord server with the people that started it. It's called Our Worlds Are in Danger, and it's an Armada recap podcast where they go over each episode and talk about it. It's a couple people from the UK. It's only very recently started, so like if you've been watching the show, you can go listen to that and hear them talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's called Our Worlds Are in Danger because that was the third chapter, Cybertron. That was what they said in the opening credits of the show.
Nice.
Well, Stephen,
I do that with books. A lot. Like I like high fantasy books. So like I did like the Malazan Army. I'm doing the 5th season now. So I like to go in the forums just to see what other people have to say, and just so I can fully understand what I read or
Cool. So Stephen Brock says, TF Johnny mentioned IDW 1.0. I read it from Heart of Darkness miniseries through Dark Cybertron.
Yeah. That was a... What was that say? Oh, hang on. I have a thing in the way.
So 1.0. So I'm looking at, so the IDW Origin books is where I read it. I don't know if that's 1.0 or not, but yeah.
Yeah, that's 1.0 because in 2019 they rebooted everything, so that people call that IDW 2.0.
Okay.
But yeah,
so most of I had the first 8 volumes.
Yeah. But yeah, like IDW's lost the license now, so there's no more comics being made. So IDW 2.0 didn't last too long. So if you got an IDW comic, it's probably 1.0 just by odds, because that went from like 2004 to 2019. So they were doing it for a long time.
Yeah, these are like, they're not, the style is comics, but they're like the thick books, and they did spotlights. Like they did a spotlight on Megatron, a spotlight on Optimus, Metroplex, and
Yeah, the spotlights were a good set of books because there was like a lot of one-shot stories, and they had different writers and artists. And one of my favorites was, everybody always complains about Wheelie. They did a Spotlight Wheelie issue that was actually like really good because they were like, let's try and make this character make sense.
Right.
So it's a story about like him getting stranded on an alien world, which was his origin story that they never really went into in G1. And it's like him learning to survive and stuff. And Simon Furman wrote it, actually. It was a Furman story. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a survivalist. That's his title.
Yeah. Yeah. So like as a one-off, that was actually like a favorite of mine back in the day, because I'm like, oh, you took the character nobody likes and wrote a really good story about him, and you didn't like he didn't like reinvent him or anything either. It's just like, this is this guy's origin. I'm like,
Well, there was a lot of rum. There's a lot of meat on that bone. Like, he just appeared in the movie. Like, So.
Yeah, so I'm like, Simon Furman was like, well, let me tell this story. So that's
they
a
did
good
Blur
one.
like that too. Did you see the Blur one?
Yeah,
it was pretty
Spotlight Blur.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Steven says a comics wheelie is badass AF.
Yeah, because he got to be like a survivalist. They come up with a reason why he talks in rhymes, which I will not spoil, but he doesn't at the start of the story. That's all I'll say.
So Stephen Brock says, I got a Japanese solo release of that smaller Energon Optimus. He's able to combine with the Deluxe and Voyager Autobots.
Yeah, that was the thing they did during Energon. It was really weird. All the Deluxes and Voyagers in that line, they could like combine, and they could make either an upper torso or a lower torso, and you could like mix and match them.
Really?
And everybody could do the upper or the lower mode. It didn't look great in practice, but it was kind of a neat idea. I'm going to see if I can dig up a photo of it or something.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
He says, I typically have combined him with Energon Rodimus or Energon Jetfire with 4 mini-cons that resemble the larger Optimus figure drones.
Yeah.
I will say this about that. Like, I normally don't like non-combiner Transformers turning into combiners. Like, I wasn't crazy about Volcanicus at first, but I have them. I have the upgraded kit. I like the toy, and it kind of made sense because they're all, what they are, and it's the perfect number to make a combiner. But normally, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I sort of found a picture on the wiki. I don't know why this is in French, but you can see there like Energon Hotshot and Energon Inferno. So that's Hotshot is the upper torso and Inferno is the legs, and there it is reversed. They're always kind of like stumpy, awkward combinations, but the fact that any figure could be like the shirt or the pants, as they called it, of the combiner, it was kind of a neat idea.
Almost looks more like Puzzler from Goldbar.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Stephen Brock said the Dubs of the Unicron trilogy sucked. Yeah, that was another thing. The dubs were notoriously like really rushed because they had to get them out at a certain point. Gary Chalk, who was on Beast Wars as Optimus Prime, well, they got him back to be Optimus Prime, and he said in the past, like, he would just be there, and they just give him these lines to say without any context, and he just had to do them all in one go because they were so rushed. So that the English dub of those shows is like not very good.
Wow.
Because they were literally just like, we got to get these out right now. Just do it all in one go.
Yeah, rush is never good.
Yeah. And there was like mad errors. Like, people would be calling each other by the wrong names, and they'd accidentally like call characters by their Japanese names once or twice instead of their English names. Like, Optimus and Jetfire could combine into Jet Optimus, but then the first episode they appeared, everybody called it Jet Convoy because they didn't fix it in the script.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff like that. It was kind of nuts.
Out of control.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of cool, Jet Convoy.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, maybe if they'd stuck with it, but like the next episode they were calling it Jet Optimus because they just forgot to change the name in the dub script.
Wow. Well, to that point, the G1 cartoon had a whole bunch of errors too.
Oh
yeah.
I don't know who the editor or whoever looks over like the final finished product. They didn't do a good job.
Well, I've read about it in the past. It was literally just like they had to put them out really fast, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they'd get the script writers would be like, we'd just write the script and they'd immediately send it to animation, and then they'd get one pass afterwards if there were any big mistakes in the animation to try and fix all the biggest ones, and then they'd go straight to broadcast. So it was really like done really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Meeting deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pushing product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we know, I mean, the Transformers is about selling toys, and I don't think they cared about much like the stuff that we care about.
Yeah. Notoriously, like they've said, like it didn't occur to anybody writing it that people would respond so negatively to Optimus Prime's death, right? Because they were just trying to sell the 86 characters, and they had to go back on it later on, like they because so many people complained.
Yeah, businessmen made that decision, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't, they didn't take the fan base into account.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes fans can be fickle, and I think they underestimated though. Like a lot of people gravitated towards this franchise, man, back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And again, I think we talked about this before too, but on the on that Netflix series, Toys That Made Us,
yes,
they kind of talked about the psychological approach that a lot of these commercials took to get kids hooked into these toys, and Congress had to step in and be like, look, this is predatory, or this is, like kind of brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
And like we're results of that. I know I am, so it worked.
Oh yeah.
On me at least. So.
And all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just like, didn't happen to me. Say try to block all the stuff in the back.
Exactly. Let me blur the background.
Yeah.
Steven said some of the better Energon Autobot combos I shall have to share later this week.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I know, like, you could pretty much combine anybody with anybody, so any of the ones that worked well would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not a fan of that, but I get it. You got to have gimmicks. You got to reinvent and be new, and I get it. No,
hey, there's a group of kids that grew up with that, so I'm sure to them it's great.
Exactly.
It's a different iteration.
Yeah.
So now 10:30 our time, so I'd say we'll probably wrap up within the next 10 minutes, but there's also some more comments from Steven. Energon, Optimus, and Prowl don't have those Hulk glove-looking hands, which
combination
makes them the best upper bodies. Infernal legs mode is very clean. Wheeljack's leg mode looks like Chug drift/blur from the waist down.
Yeah, see, this is a blind spot for me. I'd be interested in like somebody that really knows those combinations, like talking about what the best ones are. Because I'm like, I was fully out of Transformers at that point, so I'm like, that's mostly just stuff I learned after the fact.
So Professor D has a question. Just before we get his question, Charlie, did you have any questions for TF Johnny?
Not really. I think I did earlier because we were talking about third party, but it kind of slipped my mind. But I got a lot of third party stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm a third party guy too.
Yeah, I kind of went down that rabbit hole. I started collecting the MMC protector bots. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my second favorite 3P company, I would think. Yeah. MMC Fast Toys.
Do you have the Jin Bao Devastator?
I don't, but I hear great things about it. I had the Toy World one.
Do you?
Yeah, but I hear great things about that. And the upgraded to the green giant one too. They say the upgrade makes that thing unbelievable.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about getting it. Well,
yeah, the Toy World one is awesome, man. It's just, and I got them at a good price on eBay.
Nice.
You know, that's the only reason I got it because they wanted $1,000 at one point, but I'm not paying that.
Oh, yeah, that's like a whole paycheck, ain't it, Willis?
Say again.
That's like a whole paycheck, ain't it, Willis?
Yeah. I'm not gonna finance Transformers. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
So you reach that point where the adult in your head kicks in and goes,
No, the white kicks in because I wouldn't.
So, okay, so now I do got a question then. So do they have a third party Deathsaurus?
Yes.
Yeah.
MMC. Dope.
So because
MMC has all the kind of like obscure characters that a lot of the masses may not know. They have a good Overlord too. They have a lot of good characters, man. Look up some of the MMC. Whatever character you can think of, put that in a Google search with MMC, and they probably have it.
Yeah, because I do need a Deathsaurus, and because I have yep.
Did you pre-order the Hazlat?
Yes, sir. I got him.
Mm-hmm. That's coming out in September. They said.
Oh wow! Well, a KO version?
No, the Hazlat.
Yeah, I got that one. I got that like what 4 months back.
Mm-hmm. It's releasing. I think they say in September. Well, they say the fall, but I heard September.
Yeah, but that Deathsaurus though, I seen it on. I think it's Transformer Stores. He's up there for $230. I think $239.
I paid $179 for him.
So I'm still gonna buy it, and then I seen the Ember Leo Convoy. They have them right now for $150, and I can get that. I'm getting that next week. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So the professor had asked the question, Spin.
Yes, actually, just before his question, RJ Eagle on YouTube has a question tied in with the third party. It says, "I also got the MMC first aid during that Big Bag Toy Store sale. Now got to try to get the others one day gradually."
I just got that. Got that.
Wow,
it's good. I sold my Xbox for Professor D. I know we were talking about this the last episode, so I decided to. And even though the Xbox protector box looked good, the releases they put out, I decided to sell those, and I'm going MMC now. So I just got that first aid that guy was just talking about.
Cool. And then Professor D has a question.
Well, I can read it out.
We lost the host.
Yeah. He said, Johnny, did war cartoons influence your decision to join the Navy?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he had before that, he has Transformers specifically. And before he came on, we were probably on for a little bit before he came on. And I mentioned that like in the very beginning, like I think that I think the course of my life on a subconscious level, I think so. Obviously, the Navy is a branch of the armed forces, and it's a faction pretty much, right? And if we go to war with whoever, it's like Autobots and Decepticons, and of course the U.S. would be the Autobots, right? And then eventually, after I got out the Navy, I went to drive tractor trailers cross country for about 5 years, and came back and drove locally for another like 10 years. And I love Peterbilts. That's what I drove. Optimus was a Peterbilt. So, I wasn't driving an old cab over though. Those things ride rough as hell. It was a newer style Peterbilt. But I think so, man. I honestly do. I do. I mean, that's how big of an impact that the franchise had on my life. I really, truly believe that.
Cool.
So I was in the Air Force, and I worked on Starscream for a while.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
On F-15s.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I worked on Starscream's engines for as a rating. A rating is your job in the military. So I was a GSE, which is a gas turbine electrician. And that's what we worked on, gas turbines, which power jets.
We just call them jet troops in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like it. The jet troops sounds like a Star Wars stormtrooper variant.
It sounds like a G.I. Joe, subgroup.
Well, y'all see the new Space Force insignia. It looks just like the Star Trek insignia.
Wow. They're doing that on purpose.
Wow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know he did. Nothing is coincidental. Everything is thought out. More perfect.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. As Stephen Brock says, Perspective End has a good, what's the best thesaurus video?
Well, the HasLab one isn't even out yet, unless they're just comparing it off of images.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Transformers First has it up there. You can go see it. It's up there. It's 200 and some bucks. So I guess when that comes out, it's gonna be the same. I guess I don't know. Like I said, if you go to Hasbro Pulse website, it's up there, but you can't buy it. But then you go to Transformers Source, it's up there. You can purchase it.
They probably Are you talking about the HasLab one?
Yeah.
They probably place their own order for a large amount of them and are just gonna sell them when they arrive, basically.
You probably get BBTS as well.
Yeah, they did that with previous HasLabs, where they'll just put in a bulk order when it comes time to pledge, and then the people that are buying them are basically buying the HasLab pledges that they did already.
Oh boy, I must join this game because I need it in my collection.
Yeah, I'm kind of I was on the fence about going in on Star Saber, and I'm kind of glad I didn't in the hindsight, because if I gone in on Star Saber, I would have felt like I had to go in on Deathsaurus. But now I'm like, nope, I didn't get the good guy. I don't need the bad guy. I'm good. I save all that money.
No, money comes and goes. You cannot believe in this stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it.
I felt obligated to get Deathsaurus because I got the HasLab Victory Leo.
Yeah, there you go. So same thing.
Yep.
I did get a bit of FOMO. I've seen enough unboxings and stuff. I'm like, oh, that guy looks really good. I was just like, so this is slightly too rich for me. And now I don't feel like I need to get the opposite, even though he also looks really good.
Switch. Because I just pulled the trigger.
Yeah. I don't even I said this. Okay, so Unicron, loved the idea. Yeah. That was too much money for me. That pinged the adult in my head, right?
That happened to me too, but
yeah,
I regretted it, and then I ended up getting it after the fact. Again, I waited till the deal I was comfortable with. And actually, I take that back. I ended up trading the guy here. I traded him a whole bunch of stuff that really I didn't want.
Yeah.
For this Unicron, a lot of the old Seekers I had, I didn't really want. Just a nice. He got a nice little windfall.
Damn.
Yeah.
So.
I would say I definitely had a period of 48 hours during the original Unicron pledge where I was being introspective and skipping stones by a lake and standing on a roof and brooding. And I was I
hear you, bro. I did the same thing, and I decided what you did. I was like, no, I didn't want to. I couldn't justify paying that at the time.
Yeah,
I didn't have the foresight to see that this is a HasLab project, and it's going to. I know the monetary is going to increase in value as the years go on.
Yeah.
But I wanted it in the collection, and you know what? What I ended up doing was, Anthony, I sided with this. Can't see it from here. That's Studio One.
Yeah,
because I think the Studio One is better. It's way back there, but the Studio there it is. The Studio One is better, man. It's a better built. It looks better, but it's not the HasLab one, and it's not as big. You know what I mean? So that's why I just felt like I had to have it. So But I like that Studio One too. I have the pumpkin version.
What makes the pumpkin version different?
Steven. Yeah.
So you sold a kidney and a lung to Hasbro. Hey, I need most of those. I can get by without one kidney, but I think I need the other two.
You know.
Has anybody made a third-party figure of Beast Wars Neo Magmatron? Does anybody have the regular version? I don't think they've made one. They don't do a lot of, like, they're doing some Beast Wars guys now, like the trans art people, but that's mostly not a thing they do.
Bro, that is expensive, right? It's like $500.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get a used one, sure. I don't have Magmatron. I have Big Convoy, the good guy, because they did a reissue of him. If they reissued Magmatron, I'd probably get him. But yeah, if you can find a used one for a good price, I say go for it.
I doubt it.
I don't know what he's referencing.
The comment that Steven just made about selling your liver, your soul, all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good
one.
So I must. I think Charlie's stepped away for a moment, but I must say thank you, Johnny, for rolling through and being the featured guest for our stream this evening.
It was an honor. I appreciate you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, we appreciate you too. Yes.
Yeah. We had almost everybody come through today, or Lottie's missing, but very close.
Yeah. Are you on Instagram, Anthony?
Yeah, just under this name.
Okay.
I'm not really active there. I don't really post anything. I just like follow people. But yeah.
And Steven says,
Planet X. I forgot about Planet X. That's another good company. I don't have many of their things, but I've been noticing like their Grimlock is really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a company I may look into, man. Yeah, because I like what I've been seeing. I have. I'm sorry, I'm referencing Stephen Brock's comment.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, before we sign off, thank you for everyone that's rolled through. And again, where can people find you?
Oh, me, I'm primarily on Instagram at TFJohnny. I do have a YouTube channel that I'm not active on, but I plan on being active on, and that's TFJohnny as well. And yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. And Anthony, any what is the upcoming review for the website?
Oh yeah, because I was between new things. I decided to talk about something old. This guy, the very first Beast Wars figure I ever had, survived from the 90s. Surprisingly, this is the same guy. His name's Armadillo, and he changes into an armadillo. Yep. Yeah. So he's like a little one-step changer. Yeah, so I did a whole review and pictures of this guy, so you can see what a random 1996 Beast Wars guy was like. And that'll be up tomorrow on childrenofprimus.com.
That was the quickest transformation ever.
Oh, these guys, these guys were the best because you just do that. But unlike today's one-step changers, they still got joints and weapons and everything, so they're just like proper figures that just do that. Hey, let me find a. Where did I chuck them? Yeah. Original Rat Trap. You probably saw him on Kingdom. This is his 96. This is a reissue they did. You just pull the thing and snap it in place, and
well, that's
there
it.
you go. Yeah.
That's simple.
These were great. These were the smallest guys.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? I'm just curious to know from you guys, like, what was your favorite G1 transform? I'm just curious. Like the toy, I mean.
Mine would have been Inferno.
Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I'm just curious.
I believe he's my first store-bought transformer, although I did have a certain handful at that point, but just something about the design of Inferno and just his transformation, like he was one of my favorites.
That's cool. I like that. So you're a hot rod, Anthony?
Yeah. Like I didn't have this back in the day because it was before my time, but like I picked up the reissue when it came out back in the day, and this is the retro one they just did. I don't know, I like transforming them. It's outside of just liking the character. It's just a well done G1 figure.
Yeah, he's better than Rodimus Prime. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've seen that guy at plenty of conventions. I've not owned one, but yeah, like I've heard it's not great.
Yeah, not the bot part anyway. His little cabin is kind of cool, but the robot form, just the robot alone, is kind of pitiful.
You know what? Because when I bought Power Master Optimus, I believe 87, it's kind of the same thing. Whereas like in his Power Master mode and his truck mode, they both look amazing, but the single Optimus mode, beside the G1 Optimus, and like it just wasn't cutting it. So like I refused to put him in that single Optimus mode.
Yeah.
What's up, Calvin?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What was your favorite G1 figure?
I'm gonna say Thundercracker, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna because for some odd reason it's just that his colors. It's those Seekers, man. I don't know what is about them, but they cool as shit, bro.
Yeah, he was the best. He's the best looking Seeker, I think, too. I agree with that one. I like that metallic blue.
Yeah,
over the rest of the colors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? In one of the Facebook groups, someone did a repaint of the G1 Jetfire into Thundercracker. Or sorry, into Skywarp. And wait, nope, sorry, Thundercracker. Skywarp is black and purple. Yeah, and it's shiny blue, and it looks amazing.
Yeah. So it's funny you mentioned it. That was my G1. I love Jetfire, man. I just think he still holds up, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think he still holds up to be an old figure. What about Charlie?
I like Jetfire. My favorite was always Optimus Prime. Yes. But then I also like Jazz and Hound. I think I played with Hound the most.
Good choices. I think the Seekers as a subclass, I think the Seekers are the best. I love the Seekers. They're my favorite subgroup for sure. With the Seekers. Even as a youngster, I always wanted them. Like, they just look so dope, man. That alt mode is like, man. And then they had the little like the Noah rays and stuff in the bot mode, man. Just dope. They still
it's the G1 the storm, the acid storm and all of them.
Yeah.
They need to give us those. The Rainmakers, they need to give us those in the same format as the Earthrise Starscream.
Hey,
they have those. I have them.
Let me make sure I can get them.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just
took them out of the box
mail yesterday.
Yeah, it's a
they hang all the pieces.
Yeah, I got the landing gear stashed in the chest cockpit so it won't get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? I don't know. So they have the colors, Calvin, as the Rainmakers. I don't know if they're Rainmakers though. I think they're called like Iron.
Yeah, the Ions.
The Ions. Okay.
But those are the Tetrajets. They do have the masterpiece versions of them.
Okay, yeah.
They do have those, but I wish they could just revive just revive them and give us like the one like the Earthrise Starscream. And those
they may do that. And Make Toys. I know you're not third party masterpiece, but Make Toys just released Acid Rain and Sun. What's the other one?
Sunspot.
Is it Sunspot? So they released those two. They just released those.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get my greedy hands on those.
Yeah, they're pretty good. If you like the Make Toy Seekers, it's just Meteor in green and yellow.
Yeah, that's all I want.
The EX version.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So before we sign off, let's run through some of the comments. So Steven from YouTube says Growl, not to be confused with Prowl, which I guess is his favorite character. And Shiva Kobe says G1 Perceptor.
Mm-hmm.
RJ Eagle says G1 Jazz with Soundwave being a close second.
That's strong.
Mm-hmm. And Professor D saying Thundercracker, best looking Seeker.
I agree.
And RJ Eagle says also Mail Away Reflector was cool.
That's a pretty good one.
Anthony's gonna have his entire shelf there.
Yep.
Do you have the reconnaissance pack? Legacy.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Oh, I didn't recognize it all put together.
Yeah,
I have them all in bot form. That's a damn good release too.
Oh yeah. No, it's an easy way to get all three of them at once and like better colors than the regular version, I think.
No, those look great. I like them.
Yeah.
And it also says, also the Pretender Bumblebee minus the shell was better than his mini-bot version.
Yeah, little legend guy.
I never got into the Pretenders, man. I do remember them, but
yeah, I didn't get into them either at the time. And Shiba Kobe says, Starscream is my favorite Seeker, especially the face, although it's a tough call for me which Seeker actually looks better.
Oh, yeah, I think it's Thundercracker.
Yeah, I like this color scheme too. The silver and blue is really nice.
I like the G1 though. That sparkly kind of metallic blue.
Well, the funny thing for me, I was never into Seekers back then, except for season 2 when Dirge Ramjet and Thrust came out. Thrust has been my favorite Seeker.
All the cone heads.
Cone heads, yep.
Yeah.
I like Thrust too. I like those vertical fans on his wings.
Because his design was just different from everyone else's.
It was. I mean, Dirge was too, but it's kind of more plain.
Yeah.
Ramjet too.
RJ just says, True Professor D Thundercracker's colors was sweet and the best. And it says, nice reflector, Anthony. The true remake with the twice colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite. Man, I would put them in the top 10 of the War for Cybertron figures.
Yeah, it's a real nice set. Or we're talking about Seekers. Shout out to Generation 2 Ramjet with his purples and blacks.
Yes, sir.
Good repaint.
Yeah.
This is where I started. I'm like, if you take any modern figure and you do it in Generation 2 colors, just slather it up in that garish stuff. I'm just there. All these modern versions.
They look good. I'm not crazy about that Megatron, but I do like the Ramjet.
Yeah. So,
I do, but I do have that Generation 2 Sandstorm and the camouflage colors.
Which one, Calvin?
I got the Sandstorm that's in the G2. I think it's like the camouflage.
And that's just a Ramjet, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the Ramjet mold they use for Sandstorm.
Yep, I think I got like 3 versions of them. Yep.
And I was thinking about getting the because I collect Legends, core class Legends, smaller Transformers as well. And I saw the Show Z store was having a sale on the yellow.
Yeah.
Combiner, the Devastator. I was thinking about getting that. I think it was like $150 or $160, which ain't bad. On the fence with that though. I don't know. I don't have any real connections to G2 other than having some of my favorite characters in different colors. Like he just showed the Sideswipe, the black one.
Yeah.
I love that.
This is one of the few times they didn't go like garish for their color schemes. They were just like, we're just gonna invert his colors.
And the MP version of that is just ridiculous. It's probably one of my favorite MP.
Yeah, because they made him look like the '90s comics, so they gave him the snarl and the swords and stuff.
Yeah.
That's I read that comic. That's what he looks like. That's what he looked like in the comic.
Yeah, he looks like a badass. Like I said, I like Autobots in black like that. It's just I don't know. That's why I kind of like the shattered. Shattered glass. Jetfire. Like I think that looks really good. I hate that I missed the original pre-order for that because I don't want to pay the aftermarket price. I'm not
late tax.
Yeah, I'm not paying late tax on that. Not that high. So I have them saved in my eBay search, and I'll just wait for it. Somebody to sell it at a reasonable price. I want to go. So I don't know if you guys ever done this, but have you ever looked at what's the site? The Chinese site, like the eBay over there, the big one.
AliExpress.
Yeah, AliExpress. So I found it on there, but I'm like, do I trust this?
Oh no.
I found it, yeah.
But you know what? AliExpress is basically similar to eBay and Amazon, where it's basically just different sellers. So it's a question of figuring out which seller is the reputable one by the reviews and everything. And I mean, I know for other industries, there's people who buy things from AliExpress and have no issues, but again, they also had to do their research to find which is like the best seller on that platform.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was curious one night because they do have the Shattered Glass Jetfire like in abundance over like they have plenty of them at a reasonable price. And so I did a Google search, and there's websites on different forums with like a list of eBay and sellers on AliExpress that are reputable, right? So I'm thinking about pulling the trigger. I just wanted to see if any of you probably if y'all went down that road. I know a buddy of mine, he buys Mayfex characters over there, and he said he swears by them, but I don't know, So much knockoff, so many knockoffs and all that.
Oh no.
I bought my knockoff Megatron from them a while back because he was out of stock, and I was like, screw it, I'm just going to take the chance. And it took a while to finally get here, but it was legit. So I was pretty happy with it.
Okay.
All right.
But I think once you buy from them, it was like, there's like, if you find something broken, there's no going back sort of thing.
Exactly. That's one thing I could say about Shozi Express. Like, because I bought the Toy World Bruticus, and the freaking tracks on Brawl were installed backwards. And I called them, and they sent me another. They got in contact with their manufacturer. They sent me another piece. I mean, that's one thing I can't say about them. I've never had a bad experience when it comes to stuff, and I've had issues with some of the things that I bought from them. So that's nice for a Chinese seller like that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you could ask Terry, like from was it Terry's TF or Club?
Terry's Club, yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me like they posted that they asked him to look out for a figure, and he went and found it and sold it to him. So worth a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm willing. I'm open to all retailers. I just pick people I rock with, and I just rock with them mainly. So for overseas, it definitely shows. Well, I don't want to promote, but I have people I go to.
Agreed.
Stephen Brock says, does anyone know of any good sites for European exclusives?
Yeah, you go to eBay. I think it's not Amazon Europe or something. If you switch over to Europe, they have a whole bunch of stuff we don't even have, bro.
Really?
Whole another world.
Interesting.
You think I know it, man. I'm telling you, I've been ordering my stuff from everywhere, but it comes brand new. I have no issues, nothing.
Well, Amazon has an excellent return policy. Like, they don't. There's no hassle. Most of the time, stuff comes with a return label. You don't like it, put it back in the box. Put the return label. Mm-hmm. Here in the U.S., we drop them at a UPS store or.
Right.
And that's it. And they'll refund you immediately as soon as they scan the barcode that has been shipped, and you get your money instantly. So. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I think Big Bad Toy Store has the retro. I think it's an MP Optimus Prime. It comes with the cab and everything. I think they want 174. So I might not probably picking up. It's in the old school box, like plastic box. It's elongated. It's real big though.
Oh, like the very first MP.
Yeah. G1. His chest opened up with the Matrix. They got a whole bunch of parts to come with it. And I seen one at my local comic book store. They wanted $224.
I never heard of this. And this is from Hasbro?
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Tacoma. Yeah. Takara.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. It's on Big Bad Toy Store for $174. So I might not probably picking it up.
We'll check that out when we get off.
Shiba Cody says, I bit the bullet and got Legacy Bulkhead finally this past week. 3 of them had been shelf warming my local Wally World for months.
Wow. I found one of the Junkions today too.
It's funny, like here, like I'm on the East Coast in DC, like it feels like the West Coast gets everything first in the US.
Mm-hmm.
I guess being closer to the, where these things are made. But like if you go to the store now where you couldn't, it was very hard to find like like the current wave. Now you go, all the Galvatron is there, Blitzwing is there, like Wave 1, a lot of Wave 1 stuff. They're just behind, like now they're fully stocked on stuff that I don't want anymore.
Wow,
already have. So yeah, I guess that's kind of sucks with being here on the East.
I think it's Scrapbook. The junkie on Scrapbook. I found him today at Target.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the market for him. But look, I wonder why.
This guy.
Nice.
Nice.
So I wonder why they gave him a name and then the other one, not Red Guard, they just call him a junkie.
That was like a placeholder name. I believe his actual name is Crash Bar.
Huh.
And I think they're gonna be doing a female junkie on too. I think
that's kind of inconsistent though. It's kind of lazy and inconsistent. Like,
you
couldn't just throw a name on them, but we know the names, right? You couldn't just throw a name on it. They all have the same body, different faces, but it's the same body.
Well, I mean, there was the female junkie on it in season 3, right?
Well, the wiki lister is Nancy because that's what Wreck-Gar refers to her as, even though it was probably a TV reference.
Exactly.
Shiba Kobe says, I saw Scraphook at GameStop about a month ago.
What?
Where are you?
We're so behind in Minnesota, bro. What the?
Well, where is he? Where is Shaq B? Well, I pronounced his name wrong, I'm sure, or her name.
Hopefully, get a quick.
Because I follow some guys over in Asia, and they get everything. Like we'll hear something being announced, and they'll be on Instagram with pictures. I'm like, you got this already? And he was like, yeah. Wow.
Yep.
But they still have Toys R Us. I mean, I think you guys do too, right?
We have Toys
R Us. Yeah, but everything there is expensive. So that's like your last port of call. It's like a good few dollars more than like every other store.
We don't have any toy stores here, so you have to go to a hobby shop, or basically the Target or Walmart.
Right. Oh, there we go. So Shiba Kobe says, "What the heck? I saw a Ryan Pax Alpha Triumph box for like $82 at GameStop. At the same time, I'm in British Columbia near Victoria."
The other side of Canada.
That's West Coast.
Yeah.
But that time I opt for Legacy Breakdown instead.
It's fair. It's probably harder to get, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why there's no way in hell I was paying $70 for Breakdown. I'm like, I'm sure Hasbro will restock this one. This isn't like a dead stock situation. Glad I waited an extra 3 weeks or whatever and got it for $22 or $24.
Cool. Well, it's been an amazing evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for everyone that's rolled through and everyone in the comments. And check out our website, childrenofprimus.com, our Instagram, YouTube, and also on Reddit. And yeah, and then, again, thanks. And hopefully all of us can roll through again next week.
Yes, sir. See ya.
Yeah. Have a good weekend and week.
TF.
Everybody be safe.
See ya.